The season opener in Texas against the Rangers on March 27th and a home opener Friday, April 4th against St. Louis. Celtics continue Summer League play today in Las Vegas against Dallas. The Green are 2-1 at this event so far. There was an NBA trade yesterday. The Clippers sent Russell Westbrook to Utah in exchange for Chris Dunn, a second-round pick swap, the rights to a Serbian center from the 2021 draft, and cash. Westbrook will reportedly be bought out of his contract, waived by the Jazz, and then signed by Denver. And in golf, round 2 of the Open Championship is underway at Royal Troon. Shane Lowry has a one-shot lead at 7 under par. First-round leader Daniel Brown is alone in second at 6 under. Tiger Woods fired an 8 over 79 yesterday. He is now 11 over for the tournament on the 6th hole this morning. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Play It Again Sports in Dedham. Their 15th annual tent sale is July 27th and 28th. Up to 75% off all equipment and over $7,500 in giveaways. 606 Washington Street in Dedham. Map pricing may apply. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Fred, hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Open him up with a football.
98.5. The Hub.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na 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 na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Dutcher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. You can give us a call, 617-779-0985. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. If you want to watch us, simply do so on YouTube. It's a new service where you can upload videos and watch things like TED Talks.
What, like who can? Like major television networks and entertainment moguls? Who uploads the videos?
People. And
anybody?
You'll be you're surprised what people have. They have every Mr. Belvedere episode. They have the 1978 Sugar Bowl. They have everything that you could possibly need to watch. If you would have told me when I was a kid, like, you could watch, like, any NFL game from, like, the past, I would have gone, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, because I always... and I was like, wow, I can watch like the 86 Jets. This is great. And then I'll start watching the 86 Jets game and I'll be like, oh no, I don't want to, this is really boring.
Yeah.
Watching football games that have already happened is not entertaining. The baseball is a little bit better to watch. I like watching the intros to the All-Star games. I don't know why. Even when I wasn't alive, I like watching the intros to the All-Star games, but
This is baseball.
Yeah. In the hockey, you just go, no one cared. They did not even have cameras on these things. Go ahead.
They have This Week in Baseball online, and I watch it. I do. I go back and I watch it. I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid. Yeah. Even the music is cool.
Did not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All the time.
You watch This Week in Baseball.
This
Twib.
Week in Baseball. Yep.
I called it Twib.
And you got Twib notes at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. If there is news, by the way, that has broken overnight, thank you to Mike Lockhart for being the only one of us who knew this was going on. But I will read you simply from the Associated Press. Widespread Microsoft outage disrupts flights, banks, media outlets, and companies from around the world. Radio isn't so dumb now, is it, people? Broadcasting over government-owned towers, that good old-fashioned radio waves. Not privy to when the internet is down. Feel pretty good now, don't you? Making fun of it. We're like the roaches of media. You can't kill us. When the grid goes down, baby, we'll still be on your
Frequency
transistor.
modulation.
Yeah, look when the next tornado comes to town and you're with the family in the basement.
Uh-huh.
Are you on the internet? I don't think so. Are you on your cable television? No, no, no. You will be on a radio in your basement. So you should go buy a radio today if you don't have one. It's like not being able to call 911. I mean, I bet you some of you doomsday preppers have a bunch of cans and everything else and a bunch of AR-15s, but you don't have a radio.
You need a hand crank radio.
So I'll get to the point. A widespread Microsoft outage disrupted flights, banks, media outlets, and companies around the world Friday. Escalating disruptions continued hours after the technology company said it was gradually, thank God, don't rush, fixing an issue affecting access to Microsoft 365 apps and services. Now, Australia, it's affected Visa, ADT security, which has got to be fun if you have that. So it's in my old house. I wonder if it's just beeping. And Amazon and airlines, including American Airlines and Delta. So to my understanding, what did you guys say, that Logan is shut down?
We'll tell you.
There's no timeline for when Microsoft systems will go back online, when we could see improvements here at the airport, and of course to those businesses across the world right now. American Airlines, United also grounding their flights this morning. In a statement, American Airlines said that a technical issue was impacting their airlines and that the company was in contact with its planes that were currently in flight. Now, we just spoke with a traveler who sat in this long line that you can see here behind me. She tried to check her bag. She couldn't even do that because the systems here weren't working.
Thank you to WBZ TV for that.
Get Roach out there. He'll make everyone feel better.
Yeah.
What, you had your hand up?
I did. It's not just, I mean, when they say a worldwide problem, I'm looking at this story. Train operators in the United Kingdom, the London Stock Exchange, U.S. Alaska State Troopers, 911 doesn't work. I mean, the fingers of this thing.
911 where?
In Alaska.
Oh, in Alaska. Yeah,
I mean,
you got to be clear.
Well, 911 is a joke in your town anyway.
That's true. That's
If you're
true.
a person of color.
I didn't hear what you said. Dan was babbling about New Hampshire 911. What, Dan?
No,
What?
Mike related to me. Come in there right now. A 911 in New Hampshire was just back online.
Let me make a suggestion. Just say it on air.
I was trying to relay it quickly. I apologize.
No. Well, quickly as you can do it, just as quickly on air. Even if it takes that extra second. Give yourself some credit, Danny. People love to hear from Danny.
He's worried about the York Beach, Maine email systems. Dan the Wagon Man.
Oh no, Dan the Wagon Man is not a slave
affected
to
at
the
all. No.
to the grid. Dan the Wagon Man, that's good old PVC pipe.
That's word of mouth. WOM, Fred. Word of mouth.
You know, I know someone who I'm not in contact with right now that rented one of your wagons to copy the specs.
Oh, really? That I haven't patented yet?
You patented
Sorry.
it?
No.
Not something I would
Just
share.
say patent
She
pending.
said it was a lot of PVC pipe involved.
And glue, yes.
All right, Dan, go ahead.
Hey, you guys are like the plot from the movie Space Cowboys, where they got to send a bunch of old people into space because the technology's so old.
Yes.
Like, trust me, I know that movie well because my dad, who's 70, was a computer programmer, and boy, did he like thinking he was relevant as he gets older.
Okay,
Holy moly.
so go
But-
through everyone on the show. Who is James Garner? Who's Tommy Lee Jones? Who's Donald Sutherland? You got to
Was
assign.
Eastwood in that?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The characters are kind of, I don't know their names, but I know their faces. So the guys
give us
getting
the
all
actors.
ladies-
Give us the actors.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think Hardy's Tommy Lee Jones.
Nice.
You know, straight shooter,
Yeah.
family man.
Yeah.
I'm sure he likes A-cups. Now we got Freddie. He's the ladies' man, the guy always hitting on all the chicks. Because I mean, come on.
Donald Sutherland.
And then the little kind of who's that other guy? You know, yeah, that's got to be Wallace.
James Garner.
I'll go with that.
That other
I think
guy?
that's it.
James Garner, who is a Christian minister, which fits with Wallach after
Perfect.
he renounced his faith.
Yeah, that's the
I'll
next
be the
move for
Christian
Wallach.
minister, right?
Yes, in the movie, James Garner.
Give me
plays
one
the
of them
minister.
shades.
I'm
That's
like
what I
Donald
need.
Sutherland in Animal House. I'm a studious college professor.
Sleeps with one of the kids, yeah. Perfect.
Not a kid. She's an adult.
Lockhart can be Clint Eastwood.
You really hold him in high regard.
Who am I?
Well,
who's the other guy?
I don't want him.
James Garner's no. I mean, that's Rockford.
Yeah.
I mean, James
I'll
Garner.
be the Rockford Files guy.
What's the
sure.
dumb thing my daughter just made me watch? The movie with Ken from the Barbie movie. It's just like a love story about like these two old people, and the lady's got Alzheimer's, and it's about how they met in the 20s. You have to know what it is.
Harold and Maude.
It's
The
about
Notebook.
The Notebook. Thank you.
Okay.
Turn my mic on. Yep.
Yeah, the Notebook is what it is.
Dan can be Marcia Gay Harden.
Okay.
Thanks, Hardy.
Well, in the
Well,
movie,
we have to. Everyone has to. I got to.
Can't be William Devane. No?
in the movie, does Marcia Gay Harden have a male suitor that flies her from place to place?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think Tommy Lee Jones tries to hook up with her. Well, they all try and hook up with her, except for Clint.
Bob, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Hey.
It's been a slow week in sports world, Fred. I cannot believe you haven't talked about the fact that Snooki is going to be at Encore tonight.
No, she's not doing the show. We have had Snooki on in the past. Did you hear, Bob, when Snooki was on the show?
I've listened to the show pretty much every day since 2010. I don't remember a Snooki.
You
know?
don't? Oh, we had Snooki on, and I just rifled off. Bob, when I tell you I might have asked her, say we had her on for 15 minutes. When I say I might have asked her 100 questions.
All of us, this was Fred. Fred was in his glory. All of us sat back. We all thought about leaving the studio.
My strategy for the interview was just to fire questions. It was no conversation. It was just me wanting to know things. And yeah, we've had Snooki on, the Snookster.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was going to send me a bunch of her wine. We had Snooki on not even that long. And whenever we had Snooki on, I don't think I was drinking, but she said she was going to send a bunch of wine, which I just was like, okay, cool. And she never did. Can you believe that Snooki did that? That she would promise something and not deliver, Bobby?
That's sad to hear because, I mean, there was like 10 billboards going into the city yesterday, all advertising with the appearance. And I think there's going to be some douchebag wearing a black hat walking around with a selfie stick ordering bottle service. It's going to be there, too.
He loves clubs. He loves electronic music.
So Snooki.
Thank you, Ben.
What the hell is going on with this show? It doesn't start until 10 o'clock at night. That's too late.
Oh, it's Friday. Let Snooki have fun.
I know.
I wonder if Giovanni's going to be there. Probably not. Giovanni does not like the limelight. Her husband.
Oh,
Hardy's like, who's that?
I was
Big
just
dope.
yeah.
You know that Diener. You're familiar, Hardy, with the Jersey Shore. I don't think we've ever really tackled the issues on this show.
I mean, I know what the show is, and I could
you know
point out JWoww and the situation.
Yeah,
and
it's
maybe,
part of the
and Snooki,
zeitgeist.
of course.
Yeah, it's a cultural phenomenon. Of course, you know what it is. But Diener, she was on the first season.
Okay.
She left and she came back, and she is really the only one. The Jersey Shore is. I stopped watching it. I hate to admit it because it's real. Like, they're all sober except for JWoww and Snooki and Diener. Diener's like the only basket case anymore either. And I'll ask you your opinion on this because we've never talked about it. JWoww has a very realistic, well done tattoo of her baby son when he was a baby on her right hand. Wouldn't that be, if you were making love to someone, wouldn't that be a little bit of a, what is this? Like, now there's an infant in the room?
Only if she's using her hand. Otherwise it wouldn't bother me.
I think first of all, realistic looking tattoos always like kind of weird me out.
Yeah.
I told you I knew a guy who had Groucho Marx. It was his entire forearm. It was like the greatest tattoo ever done. It looked exactly like Groucho Marx. It looked like someone had like found a way just to take a picture of him and put it on his arm, like the actual photograph. And it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was about
Was he a big Groucho Marx fan?
I assume I didn't really talk to him.
Like,
that
how does one become a Groucho Marx fan in the 21st century?
When I was a kid, I was a huge Groucho Marx Brothers guy. When I was really little, I used to have Marx Brothers posters in my room.
So I don't ever remember watching. I watched Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello.
See, I never liked Three Stooges, but I loved the Marx Brothers. And then I stopped liking them, like, once I found I think Dave Coulier was the first guy that I was like, oh yeah, there's another side to comedy.
Right.
There's real masters.
There's
Maybe
a whole other level.
Yeah, maybe the first time I saw Rich Little, and I was like, this guy can do a million voices.
Yeah, Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop. That to me was my Live on the Sunset Strip when I was growing up. You get Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop up there, and I'm watching.
All right. Well, listen. So anyway, if you're flying out anywhere today, check on what's going on. This is, I guess, not to be sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I guess this is like a super big deal. The Microsoft systems are down. It's affecting a bunch of big companies.
Airports, according to this FAA website I'm looking at, LaGuardia has a full ground stop as well as Logan Airport.
I would imagine they all do.
I mean, Las Vegas, on what I'm looking at here, there are 8 airports.
Okay.
Las Vegas, Boston, and LaGuardia are the 3 biggest I've seen so far.
So let's put it this way. If Las Vegas, Boston, LaGuardia have shut down, it's going to affect everything.
Correct.
Maybe you'll get certain flights out, but with flight patterns and everything else, and if it's gonna
2 major hubs there.
Yeah, yeah. All right. When we come back, Lord knows what Hardy has scrounged up. On the way in here, it was a real Texas A&M coach.
It was
garbage about the WNBA.
So much WNBA. Oh my goodness!
I'll just tell you this: it's a tune-out for me. I just turn the channel whenever I hear anything that's not Caitlin Clark. So, do I have to tune out my own show? That will be what we find out in just a moment.
I won't do that to you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
You're listening to
I'm dying inside.
It wasn't so much last night as it was yesterday morning, afternoon, really 2 nights ago, as the 152nd Open Championship well underway now at Royal Troon. We are into the second round now, where Shane Lowry has a tie of the lead at 6 under par. We're going to get to the notable golfers here in a moment. Daniel Brown also has a share of the lead at 6 under. And then 2 golfers 3 strokes back, Matthew Jordan and Justin Thomas, who surprised a lot of people by coming out and shooting a 68 yesterday in his opening round.
Yes,
But what about the guys everybody knows? They like Rory McIlroy. How was it out there, Rory?
Yeah, difficult day. I felt like I did, okay for the first part of the round, and then, missed the green at the postage stamp there and left it in and made a double, but still felt like I was in, reasonable enough shape, being a couple over through 9. The wind on the back 9 was helping. It was a lot off the left.
So yeah. I took my son to Children's Hospital yesterday to get his shoulder looked at, and I took a lift because if you're parking at Children's Hospital, you got problems in the Longwood area. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What a well-designed area.
It really is. Because you've got the Brigham and you've got Children's Hospital and you've got like 3 or 4 hospitals.
Yeah.
Beth Israel.
Dana-Farber.
And it's not there. It's not a high-traffic area to begin with. So that's also important.
And you know what you do? You put a giant bike lane in and just say, let's instead of having 4 lanes, we'll have 2.
And since there are 9 hospitals there, the nice thing is a lot of times you'll get ambulances coming by every 45 seconds. So everyone has to pull over as far as they can so the ambulances get through.
So you know how many bikes I saw when I was down there? 0. So anyway, I'm in the back of the lift and I go, oh, I see McIlroy played very poorly, and I felt bad. And also for the interest in the tournament, I thought it would be a good story if McIlroy recovered from the U.S. Open. And so I go to the story, and it's just all about how his wife was there, but she was not wearing a wedding ring because, they were going to get divorced, but then they decided against it. What are your feelings on her?
I don't know anything about her other than
she worked for the PGA.
If you decide to get a divorce, I cannot speak for myself, Fred, but maybe you can lend some insight.
Oh, I can.
And then you decide, you know what, we're going to stick together. How do you think the mood is in that marriage and in that relationship? We've decided we're going to get a divorce. Yes, we're getting divorced. And then for whatever reason you reconcile. It seems like things might be icy for a while.
See, the thing is that it might not be, though, because maybe the freedom of thinking that it was over and like letting your brain get to that place and not feeling, say they both felt trapped or one of them felt trapped, and then I bet you know what, Hardy? I understand that inclination, but I bet you that the marriage, at least temporarily, is like kind of feels like a new relationship. So it might reinvigorate things, as a matter of fact.
I don't know. I don't know how you stop yourself like from every fight and argument and everything that, not just minor annoyances, but things that really bother you, how you don't automatically go to, God, I was out. All I had to do was sign the papers. We were done. I was away from this. It was done.
Because just knowing from going through my own divorce, like if we would have gotten back together, it would have been like a lot. And it would have meant like that, because I talk to my ex-wife like every day because, we have kids and we get along good. And for the most part, 99% of the time. And so like so say like I see her like a lot and I certainly talk to her every day. And so, and we're friends.
Yeah.
So, but and it's been 2 years, so like whatever, we're not getting back together. We're divorced. Like it would have been a lot of money to spend just to get back together. But and I enjoy being single right now. But the thing is that I know that like if that got romantic again, it would have taken like a lot like for that to get romantic again, and then it probably would have felt like, all right, wow, this is like we're really like supposed to be. I guess it's supposed is how it happens. If you're like, this is like too much and I don't want to go through this, it's like I don't want to go through the hassle, then yes, I think that then you're just getting back for the wrong reasons. But if everything rekindled and you both were like, we're making this horrible mistake, this is a horrible mistake and we have to get back together, because it takes a lot. That's a big move. If you're doing it for that reason, then it could go either way. I think that it could go the way you're saying, or it could go the way I'm saying.
No, it did not go.
How's that for a take?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, no, it's not, because I gave him the credit and me credit, so that's really not.
It's like the Red Sox.
He's the antithesis.
Everyone comes out smelling well.
It's like the Red Sox should. Wallach doesn't want him to do anything at the deadline, but they better make a move.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little bit like that. That I'll grant you. My melatonin take, not melatonin, my magnesium take.
Boy, did you get absolutely vilified for that.
I couldn't sleep. Ironically.
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy shot 7 over par, 78 yesterday, so he sounded okay there, but he's got work to do today as the projected cut is 3 over. Rory tees off at 10:10 a.m. What about Tiger? Colin Montgomery said before the tournament started, Tiger should just hang it up. He's too old for this. He doesn't have the game anymore, and Royal Troon is going to be no fun whatsoever. Tiger, how was it out there for you?
I didn't do a whole lot of things right today. Made that putt on the third hole, and then I think I had three putts today. Didn't hit my irons very close. Didn't give myself a whole lot of looks today, so need to shoot something in the mid-60s tomorrow to get something on going on the weekend.
Now, how's he going on that campaign? Well, he parred the first, doubled the second, made another double at 5. Oh, he put a birdie up on 6. He is currently
10 over. He's 10 over for the tournament.
10 over par after.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Colin Montgomery's deal? Why is he telling? He told Tiger Woods should just not play anymore. Is that what he said, or just not play this tournament?
This tournament, right?
He shouldn't play major championships like the Open under these conditions. And these guys are all talking about, the conditions. Rory said the course is very tough.
Yeah, the course was playing tough. The conditions are very difficult in a wind that we haven't seen so far this week. And I guess when that happens, you play your practice rounds, you have a strategy, but then when you get a wind that you haven't played in, it starts to present different options, and you start to think about maybe hitting a few clubs that you haven't hit in practice.
Okay, we were just given a gift. I hate to interrupt this. All right, Mike and Dan. Apparently, because I can see it on the TV, Felger had on Barth and McCarthy yesterday, and they did Tears of Nerds.
Yes.
I have to hear McCarthy. Well, first of all, Felger's a dork, too, with his sports. I have to hear them talk. Please pull clips of them talking about sports.
It's going to take a while. I heard it yesterday, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, what a gift. They're leaning into this. We're dorks, too. Let's talk about the Tears of Dorkdom. Surprisingly, Felger did this for a long time yesterday.
Yeah, I just need to hear McCarthy and Barth. It doesn't have to be anything really special. I just need to hear them talking about dorks.
Okay.
A couple clips. Just him, because those two nerds talking about like how other people are nerds, I would be very interested in hearing.
Maz was not on yesterday, but they did Maz's Tears of Dorkdom. And I will give Felger a lot of credit. He put a lot of thought into this, and certain things were excluded, and I thought he made some very good points. And, yes, they're leaning into the We're Dorks, too aspect.
Oh, they are leaning into it?
Yes.
Oh,
but I think they heard you. I think they heard you.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're leaning into it, it's not that funny. Then don't worry about it. If they're admitting it.
All right, who's playing well there, Royal Troon? Shane
These
Lowry.
Nerds are going crazy. Here's some Tears of Dorkdom. I mean, you're just a big old dork. Look at you sitting there Poindexter with your forearms. And Bart's like, I like football. I write for a radio website. These stupid dorks. Yeah, they's a bunch of nerds with their jerseys. Please. Good luck getting in my club. McCarthy's club says no.
Shane Lowry had the overnight lead at 5 under par. He's 1 under on his round so far today with a share of the lead. Shane?
Yeah, no, I knew going out was going to be difficult. I knew the front line was going to be quite tough. I watched a lot of golf this morning, which I normally do.
Congratulations, foreigner. Did you watch a lot of golf?
Well, he wanted to see how the course was playing, how other guys were faring out there.
I learned a little bit from that, and I went out there and I just tried to play my own game and stay out of bunkers and just do my thing. And
all right.
Thankfully, it's a good round.
Well, learn how to speak.
How dare you?
I dare. You ain't from the USA, baby. That means that I hope that you shoot not good score.
Well, you do know where this tournament is being contested.
Yeah, it's somewhere that's not nice. Somewhere with bad weather that should be in good old Florida.
Really?
Well, I played where the U.S. Open was yesterday.
Ah, you were at the country club.
Mm.
How about that?
Played in 3 hours.
Is your game good enough to survive the country club? How'd you shoot?
I don't know. We didn't keep score. I had a couple par. I had maybe 3 pars.
That's good.
Good for you.
For me. I'm erratic, you know. I do
Everybody
2 good shots, and then I'll be erratic. I didn't screw up like incredibly. I didn't like make like a lot of like flubs.
That's tough to do on a course like that, which can be intimidating.
We had the guy I was playing with I've known, and he doesn't belong there any more than I do.
Okay.
His wife was a member, and the woman he married was a member.
I see.
Yeah, he married into a much higher class of people, much richer, higher class of people. He's less classy than me.
Caddy? You have a caddy?
No. I never was in a country club until if you count the Detroit Country Club, my friend had a pool membership when I was in my 30s. But the first time that I ever went to a country club was in Boston. To play golf was in Boston.
Oh, the first time you ever played at a private club?
Yep, was in Boston.
No, I see. My wife and I both worked at them when we were in high school, my first year of college. But our family weren't country club families, and then golf got so popular, and we lucked out. But we were both well into our 40s before we finally joined a place, and I finally got it. I was there for about a year or two, and the GM of the Cape Club in Sharon there. He came to me, he was like, "Oh, how are you enjoying it?" I'm like, "Oh, God, I love it. He goes, "You understand what it's about now, don't you?" I'm like, well, I just like being able to come out and play." He said, "That's it. It's access to the game. Not necessarily, the exclusivity of this course or that course, but you want to go play golf. Like I used to go play at George Wright all the time when I lived in Roslyn, and I love George Wright. It's a fantastic layout, and they have done so much work there. But go try and walk on George Wright this afternoon at 3 o'clock for a quick 9 holes. You can't. The word is out. Everybody knows it's a great golf course. You got to make tee times well in advance, and everything is golf exploded, especially after COVID. My God, like everybody's playing. So the ability to just go to your club and have it be a little less busy than other courses, and just, I want to go out and play 3 holes tonight. I got my kid with me. We want to go play, 1, 8, and 9. Can we do that? Like, absolutely. Go ahead. It's that access to be able to go out and play a little bit.
That's nice.
Isn't it? We're going to go play 3. We're going to play 1 and 2, and then we're going to come back and have a hot dog.
Very nice club you belong to there, Hardy. It is.
It's all I want to do and talk about leaning into something. This sitcom dad role that has become my life is tinker around in the garage and the yard and play golf or hit golf balls or do something golf related. That's it. I'm a perfect guy, happy as a pig in it. That's all I want. That's all I need. I don't need a lot else.
You really have? You're a Midwestern dad.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Simple pleasures, Fred. Not like you and your
Hey, I'm whoring around.
Erotic fantasies and your designer drugs. This, you the magnesium doesn't even begin to affect that pharmaceutically competitive environment that is your body. You can't even touch what's going on in there.
Pharmaceutically competitive environment.
You know how, I'll be honest about the magnesium. You know how you can't get Adderall anymore because so many people are on it? I'm trying to keep people off the scent of magnesium. Because I got a good magnesium business I'm selling in middle schools.
Right.
And I don't need everyone start to find the magnesium. I don't need it under the lock at CVS because, I'll go in there and I'll put some in my bag. Not tell anyone. I mean, they already did it. I used to make meth, but now they can't even buy Claritin because it's behind the thing. If they do that to magnesium, I'm out of business. All right, we'll be back. The grid is shut down. The grid has shut down, and it will affect you maybe today. We'll tell you all about it in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
There's no timeline for when Microsoft systems will go back online, when we could see improvements here at the airport, and of course to those businesses across the world right now. American Airlines United also grounding their flights this morning. In a statement, American Airlines said that a technical issue was impacting their airlines and that the company was in contact with its planes that were currently in flight. Now, we just spoke with a traveler who sat in this long line that you can see here behind me. She tried to check her bag. She couldn't even do that because the systems here weren't working.
Yeah, baby. Radio is not so bad anymore. We were compared to the Space Cowboys by a caller earlier. And
compared to Gangsters of Love, someone here was named Maurice. And then Wallach started speaking of the pompatus of love.
Oh, I thought you meant the Ghetto Boys Gangster of Love.
No.
I thought you meant that women looked at me like I was a faker, knowing darn well I'm a gosh darn heartbreaker.
Yeah, you are.
I'll have them crying for months because I'll make love to their best friends and then put a whipping on their,
Uh-oh.
Hey-oh. A global technology outage, grounded flights, knocked banks offline and media outlets off air, not radio. In a massive disruption that affected companies and services around the world, cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike says the issues believed to be behind the outage is not a security incident or a cyber attack, sure. The issue affected Microsoft 365 apps and services, and there's stuff going on all over the place. I can tell you this, that the Logan is grounded flights across Europe and airports in Spain, Germany. There have been incidents that have been reported at almost all airports that are having to revert to manual operations, paper tickets. Manual operations to try to keep things running at this stage. The German government has said that critical infrastructure and operators have been impacted. The Paris Olympic Committee have released a statement saying that they've been affected as well. So the Olympics are being affected. Healthcare delays in the UK because they can't access medical records. And this is reminding people of what Y2K could have been, what we're going through right now. And by the way, out of all of us, Lockhart was the only one that knew this was going on. So it is affecting lots and lots of things, ladies and gentlemen. It is no good if you were going to fly somewhere today, and that is why you were up so early. First of all, welcome. And second of all, there is a global tech outage. Global tech outage. And I can tell you the airlines that have been affected right now if you wouldn't be flying. American Airlines grounded flights through Friday morning due to communications issue. It's just safely established operations impacted and apologized to customers. United Airlines is resuming some flights. Delta Airlines is pausing all flights as they work through a vendor technology issue. Allegiant Airlines, which is really a good airline and so dependent on the grid. Allegiant Airline, I mean, you can buy a ticket to get on the plane, but then they said, oh, you want a seat? That will be extra. And you're bringing a bag, any bag on. You're bringing it on board. You're checking it. Any of those things,
like a handbag, they charge you for that.
Oh, you're bringing a purse. Absolutely, you're charged for that.
Oh, nice.
Allegiant Airlines said they're having difficulty finding people to work for them and fly on their airline. Frontier Airlines said it's impacted by a Microsoft outage and had to ground all flights.
Yeah.
Frontier is I believe, subsidiary of Delta, so that might be redundant.
Logan Airport in LaGuardia is still closed. Milwaukee closed. Vegas closed. It's all over the place.
So if you're at the Republican National Convention, you are now unable to get out.
Milwaukee.
Oh, boy. Well,
there's a Fonzie statue that I took a picture next to.
I've seen that.
At the airport there?
No, at the by the one of the waterways, like by I don't know exactly what it is. But there's a statue. It's like a park, and then there's a statue of Fonzie, about 3 apples high. Henry Winkler, not a large
life size.
Yeah, well, it's life size.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a life size statue of him. It absolutely is.
The censors making him wear the gray jacket when he was inside.
Yeah,
I love that.
He's mute the first episode basically until the end, And here's the first episode.
Yes, the brooding tough guy. Is what they were going
So
for.
the first episode of it, there's a couple things. Let's get into it, shall we?
Deep dive into Happy Days?
I haven't done this since COVID. So the first episode of Happy Days, Richie finds himself a blonde with a bobtail. She's as delightful as it could be. She's wearing the sweater and the skirt. She's got everything going for her. She's babysitting one night. So he goes over there and he plays chess with her. But then when he comes back, Ralph Potsy and the boys, they're practicing baseball. What are they wearing when they're practicing baseball, John?
I would imagine. I don't know the answer to this.
I would say blue
leather
jeans.
jackets, maybe
Blue jeans and button-down shirts. And
Nice.
so they're at the high school baseball practice and they're wearing blue jeans and button-down shirts. And they're going, Richie, like, what happened? And he's like, I was there all night. And who's watching baseball practice? But cool guy Fonzie. Fonzie's just next to the bench watching the kids play ball.
Is he on a motorcycle like Kelly Leak and Bad News Bears?
I don't believe he's on a motorcycle next to the field, but he went to the high school baseball field to watch the boys practice.
Huh. Why?
Who was catcher out of Potsy, Ralph, and Richie?
Oh, the Potsy seems like the catcher,
Yeah.
but
He's a catcher. I think.
Well, he seems the most likely to catch.
but I am going to go with Ralph Malph.
You are on fire today.
There you go,
Someone's
Hardy.
seen the original episode of
Thank you.
But isn't this interesting? So they wouldn't let Henry here's how much social mores have changed. So they wouldn't let Henry Winkler wear a leather jacket because they thought it was too thuggish.
Mm-hmm.
But the episode is, so they think, long story long, they say that they think Richie banged this chick and he didn't. He had played chess with her. So the episode ends with Fonzie pulling up on a motorcycle, and Richie goes, look, I feel bad. I never had sex with her. And Fonzie gets mad at him because he's taking her out because he thinks he can bang her. And then
because Fonzie thinks she's hot to trot.
I think you might say hot to trot. You might have seen this episode.
Wow.
But she gets on the back of the motorcycle and she's like, we're going to have a great time. And he's like, no, we won't. And then he scoots off. So a couple things about that are interesting. That they would in 1975 or whenever that debuted, 76, you could be talking about like a high school kid banging a chick and that like the local older guy like wanted to go bang her. And so he was taking her around, and Richie didn't even care. He's like, yeah, just go take her. What do I care? Like, she's just, like, pass her around. And also that
you couldn't have a character wearing a leather jacket unless that character was sitting on his motorcycle, which is why some of those early scenes,
No, he doesn't even wear it on his motorcycle.
Oh, does he wear the gray kind of?
Yeah, it's like a gray
chino?
zip up.
Yeah,
he does. It's like a leather jacket, but it's not made of leather, and it's like blue or gray, whatever it is. And they let him go like, I'm not going to be able to bang her, and she's like, he's like, you could make out. She's a really good kisser. They make it very clear he wants to have sex with her because Richie goes, well, she's a really good kisser, and Fonzie goes, great, and like rolls his eyes. Like he's like, she's not gonna let me penetrate her. Go ahead.
Was Richie's older brother in this episode? He was like on the first season for like 2 episodes. Did he counsel with his older brother about?
So like the family of Richie is kind of basically extras at that point.
Okay.
Like he's probably
Chuck
in the.
Was his name? Was it Chuck?
I think Chuck's in the episode, but like there's very little. Chuck and Joni were basically mute characters. Like they didn't really talk.
Okay.
The show was about Potsy, Ralph, and Richie. That was the original premise of the show. It was going to be their life, them and hot rods, and Potsy's being in the closet and all the beards that he had to do, so no one in Milwaukee would come in. But if you ever want to do yourself a treat, audience, and it's before the baseball game starts tonight because you're slaves to sports, watch the episode. This is absolutely true. Fonzie and Richie have 3 girls and prom's coming up, or the sock hop is coming up. They have 3 girls, 2 guys. What are they going to do? Girl goes, Fonzie, can you set me up? Fonzie goes, hey, I'll set you up. And they're all at the Arnold's. 3 girls, Richie and Fonzie. And he goes, you want to meet your date? And she goes, yeah. And who comes in but Styx, the black drummer? And Styx comes up, and Fonzie goes to the white girl, this is your date, and the white girl passes out.
And
because he's black.
Right. And I remember Styx having such comedic highbrow lines as, would you like some ice cream, Styx? Vanilla or chocolate? And he would point to his skin and say, chocolate.
Yeah. Styx was black. And if you're familiar with Milwaukee, not a lot of blacks.
No. All right, so let's test Wallach on the easiest television trivia question ever.
Okay.
Name 3 spin-offs of Happy Days.
Laverne and Shirley is the easy one.
Yes.
No, there's another easy one. Because they really rammed it in.
Joni Loves Chachi.
And the next one's the easiest because they rammed it in. It's a spin-off because it's when Happy Days got not jumping the shark, but when Happy Days got absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a bigger mess than The Departed. It was just the whole show is all over the place.
It has nothing to do with Happy Days, but it was a show in the 70s on the same network. You might not get it, but it is easy because it's
I'm thinking of Fonzie becoming a teacher at the end.
No, you're never going to get it. So what they did is one day Richie wakes up and he comes downstairs and there is an egg.
Oh,
in the
Mork
living
and
room.
Mindy.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, so a show that started off as American Graffiti in sitcom form turned into the kid coming downstairs and there is an egg in the living room where an alien pops out.
That's right. I told you about the filming of this episode where they filmed everything and said, "Don't worry about this guy. This guy's going to kill us."
He's got plenty of cocaine.
He's going to show up. He's going to be great. So it was the Fonz against Mork for the future of Milwaukee or something like that.
Yeah. No, the first season just played Rock Around the Clock.
Yeah, Bill Haley and the Comets. But come on.
These days are ours, now we're all dead. These days are ours, now we're all dead. All right, we'll be right back.
Are they all dead?
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Join 98.5 The Sports Hub in Corona at
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and it is the summer, and that means there's not a lot of sports going on unless you're talking about the WNBA, and that's not happening. By the way, more than 27,000 flights are scheduled today. As of 6 a.m., 512 flights set to take off from the U.S. have been canceled, about 2%, which is slightly higher than usual at this point of time of day, they say. Slightly higher. So there are outages going on. If you're going to Dubai, just know the airport is resumed.
Oh, good.
Normal outages. And the White House is looking into it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Biden's been up for like 5 hours because he's got the COVID. He went to bed last night at 3 in the afternoon. All right. So Felger even is how much are you going to bitch about Red Sox things that haven't already happened? John, he's got such muscle memory. Yesterday he was bitching about them getting people at the deadline and them not getting people at the deadline. Either way, he was going to be unsatisfied. So you turn to fill-ins. Now, Jim Murray is not here, and Maz is not here. So in comes Alex Barth and our good friend whom?
Matt McCarthy.
That's right. You don't say it twice. I'm like Beetlejuice. I'll show up and just go, hey, I'm in your mirror. What you looking at there, stupid? And they, of course, they say these nerds are ruining sports. I don't like the nerds. They with their numbers and their everything else, it's ruining everything. I don't like nerds. What's up with the nerds? You feel that way, John? Or do you embrace them?
I embrace them.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not like Jews who you turned your back on. You've stayed with these. Good for you, Johnny.
That's a straight line right there. Nice.
Yeah, you turned your back on your religion, but you stay true to your nerd roots. Yes. Once you play D&D,
there's no going back after that. Once you get your hands wrapped around a 20-sided die, Fred, you're all in.
Because John, throughout high school, was in the band, and he did play Dungeons and Dragons in middle school.
Yep.
Good for him. And now it's chic. Now, I mean, the guy that was married to the big booby lady on Modern Family is a big D&D player. He's got a D&D player for the game for the stars.
It's Manganiello, is that his name?
Yes, exactly. Good for you. He's a very handsome guy, like a big handsome guy. He was in the stripper movie. So anyway, when you're going to talk about rail against the dorks, what better threesome than Felger, who, is on the cusp of everything cool. He goes to Grateful Dead shows. He goes to he goes Pearl Jam's his favorite band, and he goes to you know him better than I do, Hardy. What does Felger like in his life?
He likes Grateful Dead. He likes Pearl Jam. He likes cigars and sports. That's it. Just sports.
Just sports. And then you have Matt McCarthy and Alex Barth, who are the two cool guys.
Yeah.
And here is a call that came into them.
Go ahead, Ethan.
Hey, how we doing, Felga? So I was the one who called last week and spoke about the nerds. So with McCarthy, I can tolerate him because he's from around the Norton area, so we'll let that slide. It's people like Barth that piss me off. Like, this guy sounds like he was the manager of every team in high school. And then when we got to college, he was throwing the shirts into the stands. And he's the reason why sports are literally going down the drain.
Disagree.
I understand, numbers don't, calculate a person. And that's what I think we have to... Yes,
Ethan,
Bart, what?
You ever listen to my show on Sundays?
You ever listen to my show on Sundays? Hey, Ethan. Hey, Bucko. Hey, you going to step to me? All right, here we go. Call me a dork. Hey, Ethan, you ever listen to my show on Sundays? This is kind of funny, actually. I did hear this live. Here you go.
Yes, Bart, what?
You ever listen to my show on Sundays?
No, Barth, I listen to Felger and Matt, the real show.
I am as
Be nice.
anti-math, as anti-numbers, as anti-nerds as they come. I said this to you during the draft, Felger.
Yeah, he's anti all that. He's above it.
He sounds like it.
He said, I'm anti-math. I'm anti... With the math and the things, I'm into slaying chicks. I'm into muscle cars getting laid.
I just go by my gut. I don't pay attention to the statistics.
I just go by my own personal experiences. I mean, I played at Tulane in the band.
But they did.
I just go from my raw gut.
For where was that? If you don't use numbers, then what do you use? What time do you think Barth bailed out of football?
He probably didn't make it past his sophomore year of college. I'm guessing he didn't play like all 4 years of college ball.
You think that the drugs got the better of him and he had to leave?
Yeah.
How much do you think the coach begged him to stay on the team? It's like, Barth, just get your life together. I can't lose you.
We'll always have a spot for you.
Do you think Barth? Do you think Barth played football?
No.
You're saying never, like not even as like a little kid.
I don't think so.
Not that that's required.
No,
by the way,
I didn't either. By the way, but no, I don't think so.
I'm just saying. But you also are not a football writer.
No,
like he writes about football, and I don't think you have to have played the game. Believe me, I don't think so. That's not the point I'm making. But I'm saying if you're not going by numbers, what are you going by?
Just a feel for the game.
Like I would imagine numbers would have to get into it.
So the number nerddom was one tier of nerds, and they were putting different types of nerds into different types of tiers. Now, I'm interested what you think about this. Let's call it tiers 1, 2, and 3.
Sure.
Okay, with 1 being like the nerdiest of the nerds.
Sure.
Felger said A, and I thought this was a good point. He said music nerds don't belong in any of these tiers, and if they do, it's a very low level of nerddom because there's something inherently cool about music.
That's absolutely false. I will take you no better, higher than Tim Heidecker, and I think you should leave.
That's jazz.
All right. How about this? Danny Elfman went through a point before he started Oingo Boingo where he did not recognize that. He did not recognize that culture shifted since 1920. He dressed like it was 1920, and he was obsessed with the music of like the early 1900s, and was in a band that played that music. He's a huge dork. Now he's the creepiest looking human being in the world. Not joking. Creepiest human being looking human being in the world is Danny Elfman. I completely disagree. There are huge music nerds. There are music nerds. If you go to like
Are you saying
Amoeba
that
Records,
Danny Elfman stayed in character for a role he was not hired to play?
Absolutely, and he will tell you that. And he's like, it's what made me who I am today. If Amoeba Records in Los Angeles is this huge record store that's actually looks really, really cool. So they do this thing, what's in your bag, and they'll take musicians and they'll go through Amoeba and then they'll show what they got.
All right.
Dr. Demento, the guy who was on that John used to love, that did Fish Heads and all he broke Weird Al.
Mm-hmm.
He goes in there and he goes right to the 78s.
Yeah.
Because he only listens to 78s. He not only is a vinyl guy, he is pushed aside the newfangled 33 RPM and 45 RPM albums. It only goes to 78 RPM albums, which I believe they stopped making probably in the 40s.
On a Victrola.
Exactly, like on a Victrola. Like if you get a turntable, it doesn't have a 78 RPM thing. So Felger's wrong there, but that's his own ignorance for not knowing anything except sports.
What level would you place the guy who gets the EA Sports whatever brand new college football game at midnight the moment it's released and stays up all night playing?
Well, those are the
so
cool
everybody.
People. Those are the cool people.
Like everybody in the world, they think that this home run derby didn't do well as they thought it was going to do because EA came out with the game that night.
But how big a nerd does that make you if you come out with a game and then stay up all night playing it the first night?
I don't understand why that would make you a nerd.
That's not that makes you mainstream.
Yeah,
You're not a nerd for doing that. Everyone did that.
I bet you that game made $100 million the first night that it came out, if not more. My son got it.
Yeah, it was released to the general public like last night. I mean, the pre-sale was last week.
That's like a cultural phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. There's no nerd there.
He did say that Springsteen music nerds did belong at least level 2.
Springsteen music nerds. So he did believe that there were music nerds.
But I think he was trying to absolve himself of like Grateful Dead and
Grateful Dead are just horrible, horrible people. Like they're just scum.
But he made a good point in that the drug use actually helps to balance out the nerddom. Of
No,
being
it
a
doesn't
music nerd.
because I didn't say they're nerds. Yeah, they're not nerds. They're just scum. The super into Bruce Springsteen guy, I would look no further than the crowd dancing is a huge bunch of nerds. Yeah, that the Springsteen thing. So yeah.
And then
music has a bunch of nerds in it.
He was taking majority to task because he said if you own multiple jerseys or you're a jersey collector.
Okay, so if Jay-Z comes out in a jersey, he's a dork? Like, come on, get out of here. I know it's not done often anymore, but I mean, there was an era. I mean, Big Boy from Outkast used to just wear jerseys.
Robert Smith of The Cure, but that's because they're kind of moo-moo-like. You get a double
Robert
XL
Smith
hockey
from The Cure
sweater.
lost control of his body.
Kevin Smith. It's something to do with being named Smith. Robert Smith, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, in fairness to him, and I don't like him at all. I personally don't like him.
He doesn't like you.
He doesn't like me either. Is very thin now. He's actually very thin. He had a heart attack.
So he still wears smaller hockey jerseys, or he still has?
He still wears jean shorts, but he's vegan, and he's lost a tremendous amount of weight.
Ooh.
This is delicious.
Yes, thank you, McCarthy.
This is delicious. Knock your teeth into this.
But
hey, y'all, this is delicious.
I'll tell you something else. They were having something
Eating
approaching
crow from the Red Sox.
They were having something approaching fun yesterday on Felger and Maz with Felger and McCarthy and Barnes.
Because I could finally bust on these geeks.
Well, they were just talking about something other than sports.
Bart, what? You ever listen to my show on Sundays?
No, Bart. I listen to Felger and Mad, the real show.
I am as anti-math, as anti-numbers, as anti-nerds as they come. I said this to you during the draft, Felger. I'm a dork, not a nerd. A dork is a nerd that doesn't like the math.
So you're a guy. You have all the not getting laid in being a nerd without the chance of having great success.
Correct.
Wouldn't you way rather be a nerd and be like, okay, well, I might lack some social skills and be into some.
But if you're a nerd, you can be Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly. Like, but I'm going to have this career where I like change the world.
Right.
So you really got the crap end of the stick.
You can call me.
Yeah. Excuse me, I need my inhaler.
You can call me a manager of the high school team all you want, because I was the manager of my high school baseball team. That is accurate.
Ooh, the manager of the high school baseball team.
Boy, oh boy.
That's my son's high school baseball team. That was a position for a young lady. Oof. I believe my high school baseball team, we had a young lady as our manager.
I hope they didn't make Barth do unspeakable things.
Yeah.
Walk around in a mini
Mike, did you have a girl was your manager? Yeah. That's usually a position for females. And usually like kind of like a cool one that like wants to just hang out. Like my son's manager of his baseball team was like a girl that I know. Like she was like a senior, like a popular senior. And our manager of my baseball game when I was at North was a popular girl. That
is, you can call me that. I was there keeping book.
Oof.
Felger went on to mention his, I believe, it was either 3 or 4-time winner of the punt, pass, and kick for
Felger was?
Greater Milwaukee, yeah.
Oh, I never participated in that.
But he also said there was only like 6 kids in it. So, But he wanted.
All I know from that is Andy Reid.
Do not confuse me with the analytics people. That is a line too far.
That a boy. So there is a difference. There's just old school dork, old school nerd.
I'll wear the dork badge with proud. Do not call me a nerd.
Like, I'm a sports dork. I'm a sports nerd, but I'm not a sports nerd. You're right, Barth. There's
Thank
like a
you.
difference.
No. Yeah, one's going to be a huge success, and the other one is Barth. All right. I like Barth, but you were the manager of the baseball team in high school. That's not good. So he would just go and keep score? Like he would go to all the games?
Got to say it right.
He would go and keep score at all the games?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I tried to. I got called back to be manager, but they went with somebody else. So,
no, sorry.
Now it was whatever.
Yeah, it was a big competition in Troy, Michigan in those days.
Auburn Hills, Auburn Heights at the time.
Auburn Heights at
yeah,
the
I
time.
wish I could say I went to Troy Athens or Troy High School. Nope. Auburn Heights.
How close to
Avondale, baby.
How close were you to the where the Palace eventually went?
Not close at all. Much closer to the Silverdome, which tells you the quality of neighborhood that my high school was in.
Well, listen, I used to go to Clutch Cargo's like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's some inside Metro Detroit talk. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and
We are Toucher and Hardy, and there has been another death.
By the way, before we get to that, Fred has gone full Zolak in studio this morning, wearing the flip-flops to work, and now he's just gotten kicked off, and he's letting those Tootsies breathe.
What is going on with my foot today?
Barefoot in the office.
What's going on with my foot today?
Your right foot is sore.
Yeah, the arch, I'm having a lot of trouble putting weight on it, so I took my shoes off so I can try to massage the arch of my foot.
So you're rubbing your bare foot
onto the bottom of the chair, yes. I don't get it. What's wrong with that?
That's gross.
Do you find that gross?
It's a chair only he sits in, so it's not a big deal.
Wait, but why, you find it gross that I don't have shoes on?
Yeah.
You ever do yoga?
Yeah. I wore socks.
You do? You're not supposed to.
I know you're not.
You don't slide around?
You're not supposed to. I only did it once. I didn't like it. It was way too hard.
When you're at your pool, I know obviously you don't wear shoes at the pool, but like, do you walk into the parking lot
I'm
without
like George
shoes on?
Costanza's father. I wear sneakers in the pool.
That's right. My dad wears these swimming shoes, and you can't even touch the bottom on their leg. But my dad wears these swimming shoes.
Oh, well, yeah. In the lake, I wouldn't want to do it, but I could make a case.
You
for
can't
it.
touch the bottom though. Like it's like 12 feet from the back of their dock, 12 feet deep. But you don't ever walk around barefoot?
No.
Oh,
No.
see, I walk around barefoot all the time.
Oh God, no,
Yeah.
not even in my own home.
I'll walk my dog barefoot.
What?
No, that's
what?
Really?
Around the neighborhood?
Why is that weird?
That is
Go
weird.
ahead.
That is weird.
Well, for somebody
Why?
who can't stand hippies as much as you, that is the ultimate hippie move. Man, I'm just out here getting my summer feet. Yeah, I'm getting them all calloused up and filthy, and I'm going to walk around with my bare feet.
You won't walk on a sidewalk barefoot.
No, God, no. Never.
Ever.
Why?
Ever.
In the neighborhood in the suburbs?
Yeah. Is there any broken glass ever on the sidewalk that you have to avoid?
I mean, it's not an issue. I've never had an issue with broken glass. No, there's not a lot of broken glass.
You ever
the
step
sidewalk.
on something and go, ow?
Yeah, like there's been a rock or something.
Yeah.
That's not a short walk. You're talking about walking your dog for like hours.
No. Not when I go for hours, but like if I want to take the dog out for like 10 minutes, sometimes I won't put shoes on.
Ugh. So gross. Plus, it speaks to the. What if you have to do something other than just move at a sloth pace? Because you're just walking really gingerly on your bare feet.
Why would I
don't know.
have to
What if your dog starts to chase a squirrel or something? And
then I would stand still and hold the leash. What do you think the dog? What do you think? I've got Marmaduke? That I'm gonna go ass over tea kettle and have to start booking down the street?
What if another dog runs up and they start getting in a dog fight? You know, you don't reach your hand in there to separate him. You just start kicking at snouts. You can't do that when you're barefoot.
Oh, I wouldn't. I would just rather them kill me than kick them.
Walking on a city street, barefoot.
Big city, yeah, a neighborhood in Newton. It's a real scene. It is. I know, guys. It's crazy. I've finally gone bonkers.
It's just weird.
If you guys walked around this office on a Friday at 7:30 in the morning in the summer with no shoes on, it wouldn't even occur to me that anything was going on. Do you find that weird, Dan?
At work, yes.
Do you think it's weird that I don't have shoes on when I'm sitting in this chair?
I do not. No, and you're rolling your bad foot on that roller bar on the bottom
of the chair.
I don't find that weird. But if you were to
nice.
get up and come down the hallway and into this room, into the control room, yes, I would find that to be odd and unusual.
But you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that this place of business is where we go to work in essentially pajamas. All of us do. I mean, John wears hoodies on 90-degree days.
I put the hoodie on this morning because it was in the low 60s when I left.
All right, I'm taking this call because she's in Florida, which is where I believe I got these habits because I went to college in Florida. That's why I wear flip-flops. I never did in Detroit. Sue, go ahead.
Fred, I love you. But
Thank you,
you're germophobic. People spit on the sidewalks. Where I live, I don't even walk on the grass or in the driveway. I have indoor and outdoor shoes. Like, it's disgusting to walk barefoot.
How about this,
spit
Sue?
everywhere.
If you told me that there was a place on the sidewalk where 10 people have spit, I would put my foot in it. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Oh my God, Fred, that's disgusting.
It's
Please
disgusting.
don't.
It's the bottom of my foot. Nothing's going to happen. If people spit, it's not going to affect my feet.
House, and you're going to walk in your house with spit on your feet?
I'm not going to hop on the other foot until I get to my house and then grind my foot into the floor. I mean, what do you think you step in with shoes? Well, you take your shoes off. That's very
I do.
That's very Eastern culture of you. That's very nice.
I know, and this is Florida, and you hate Florida people, but let me
No, I
tell you, I'm
don't.
actually
No,
from
I don't.
Boston.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
He hates the state.
No. I
you
like
hate the
Central
state.
Florida. I like Orlando. I don't like Tampa or Miami because they ruined
where
it.
I live, they sent out an email. They don't even want mats in front of our door. And I'm like, I will not take my mat out because I wipe my feet, even though I have indoor and outdoor shoes.
Sue,
That's ridiculous.
Sue, you keep your mat right where it is, baby. Don't worry about your.
Oh, it's staying, Fred. Don't you worry.
And maybe
Have
put,
a great day, guys.
Maybe put my face on it and step on it. Well, who knew this was happening? Jacob, go ahead. Well done, Hardy. Jacob, go ahead.
Fred, I fully support your barefoot endeavors. Too many shoes nowadays. Too small for the foot. Too narrow. So when you live up to 90 or 100, your feet aren't going to be all screwed up. You're not going to get bunions or anything.
Are you outside right now?
I'm walking to work.
Do you have shoes? Exactly. You have shoes on?
I do.
Okay, I guess you don't support Fred all that much after all. Thank you for the call.
Jacob, he has you. You put shoes on, and I mean that completely ruins your argument.
You should put shoes on every day. You should wear shoes every day.
I wear shoes every day.
No, you don't. You wear flip-flops. You wear.
Oh, that. Yeah.
And
you're like Gavin McGinnis, the leader of the Proud Boys. He doesn't like flip-flops either.
You just said that you walk your dog sometimes barefoot on sidewalks around Newton.
Yeah.
That is, if I saw somebody out there walking their dog barefoot, like past my house, I'd call the National Guard.
And then they would have to come. That is a good point. I don't want that happening. You could be like that creep. That was in my backyard.
I wouldn't even I handled most things myself. That one, it's like, no, we need military support because that guy is a time bomb.
Calling in an airstrike, are you?
I'll take this call because it recently happened. Ben, go ahead.
Freddie, baby.
What's up, Benjamin?
My barefoot Twitch lover. I love you. I love Twitch. Have you ever been out walking around and you happen upon with your bare feet a little pile of little raccoon excrement?
This happened to me the other day. I think I might have told you guys this off air. I had on flip-flops, and I walked my dog, and then I came home, and then I had to go to the doctor. And I was at the doctor, and I had been there for like an hour and a half. And she finally got me up on the exam table where I was sitting, and I looked down at my shoes, and my right flip-flop was covered in dog crap, and there was some on my leg. And I realized, oh, boy, I've been sitting here. But it would be no different than if I had shoes on, because my shoes would have been covered in crap, and I wouldn't have known it.
You didn't smell it?
No. It might have been like old crap. Like Bob
Old
Newhart's.
crap, new crap.
It's all the same.
No, there's lots of differences. One's much more valuable than the other. Fresh.
Got it.
It's like produce. When you're looking to buy poo, think of it as produce. Fresher is better, but not too fresh.
I'm glad you
nice
mentioned.
and ripe.
I don't know how we got down this path, but yes, Bob Newhart did pass away yesterday.
Okay, but we don't have time to do it.
We don't have
right
time
now.
to do it right now. We will at some point because it's been 60 years since he did one bit in particular.
Is
when
it
he
the
used to do
hungover bit?
stand-up. No, it's about baseball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the hungover bit's really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been massaging the arch of my foot because shoes are why my foot hurts right now. Golf shoes, because I played at the country club yesterday. Which country club? The country club. and you have to walk. They don't allow carts.
And you have to wear shoes. You know, the pesky, stuck-up, stuffy
that's
country
a
club
problem.
rules.
How about this? I
you
have
tuck your
played.
shirt
I
in?
have played holes at 2 country clubs barefoot.
Did you tuck your shirt in?
I did.
Yeah.
That's a rule, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think the caddy would have cared. But I really
It's not
know.
up to the
I know
caddy.
she. Well, it would have been because we were the last twosome off. They don't let you play with more than 2 people past then if you have a guest. And you have to, if you have a guest, you have to have a caddy.
Why? They want you to keep moving?
We played in 3 hours, baby. 18
That's
holes.
Awesome.
3 hours, 15 minutes. And I'll tell you this, is that last night I barely could sleep because the arch of my right foot was killing me. And it's from walking in those dumb shoes. And so now I'm paying it back. And I am going to yoga after this where I'll be barefoot. Specifically, part of the reason is because I'll be barefoot and stretching it out. So I'm going so far against what you're saying.
You got to go to yoga to stretch your foot?
To stretch my body, and yes, my foot will stretch there. There'll be lead exercises where you hold poses for very long stretches of time.
Might I recommend some magnesium spray?
Yeah. Would have helped you sleep last night.
I can't trust your recommendations now, but I will put my sandals back on when I go down. These are actually not flip-flops. These are slides. Maria, go ahead. And you know what they are? They're Fred Perry slides, which are what the Proud Boys wear. Maria, go ahead.
Good morning, gentlemen. I love listening to your show every morning on my way to work. In terms of bare feet, though, okay, so I was not a barefoot person for a very long time. I thought it was disgusting, but now I only do bare feet because it's such a pain in the butt if I have to constantly be putting on and off and on and off my shoes because I have chickens in my backyard and things keep killing them, so I have to keep going inside and outside.
Oh, so you're walking around in chicken crap and blood and guts from where the chickens have been mutilated.
Hardy, that is 100% true. But the thing is, I can hose my toes off.
Well, wait a minute. There's no but after that.
Yeah.
It's true. It's gross.
Do you have someone to take pictures?
But I can wash my feet off after. It's harder to wash shoes off.
I agree. I think that I mean, if you have to run outside, who wants to put on socks and shoes?
Yeah, you're like one of the Yule kids from To Kill a Mockingbird. You have a lean-to and you just
Marie, he's trying to dazzle you with his literary knowledge.
No, it just sounds like Depression era of logic. Oh, why put shoes
Well,
on?
Maria lives off the grid a little bit. She's got herself some chickens. She slaughters them for food. It's all right.
She live in Vermont.
Walk around in the chicken crap. What takes more time, taking the shoes on and off, or constantly hosing off the chicken crap from your feet?
Maria, don't listen to him. He doesn't like women.
Well, I was going to say, Hardy, if you really want something that's going to make your skin crawl, what if I told you I had a bucket of water that I stand in that has chicken poop on it and whatever else I've stepped in, and I just rinse my feet in a dirty water bucket all the time?
What about eBay?
Are you coming from New Hampshire?
No, Vermont.
I'm not. You know what? I'm right on the border, though. I'm Townsend, and you drive 5 minutes, and you're right in New Hampshire. So you know what? You got me there.
All right. It all makes sense now. Thank you. I got it.
Maybe you could get some lottery tickets for Hardy. All right, Maria, thank you. You make great points. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
You really took it to an extreme.
That's who you want on
and your
side
flip-flops
right
or
there.
your slides, it all says the same thing, Fred. You are not to be taken seriously.
Well, I'm a cut-up, so that's kind of the idea. Chris, go ahead.
I can't really follow the chicken poop.
Did you hang up?
Don't worry, I can't stand up.
I was just going to call and say I have a similar problem to you, Fred, with plantar fasciitis, and my physical therapist actually said there is scientific literature coming out saying that barefoot walking is a great way to help alleviate that pain.
Well, that's a fact. I mean, dudes run the marathon barefoot. I mean, and you know that.
Yeah.
That is true. And you remember that wave of shoes?
To lighten up a little bit, you know?
No,
I know he wants to wear the Timberlands and everything, all the work boots, but sometimes your bare feet are the thing that get the job done.
How about the shoes that they make? Do you see that bunker shot? The shoes that they make that are like, remember that fad where it was individual toe shoes?
Yes.
People run the Boston Marathon. The people who win the Boston Marathon, I believe, like people that come in like the top 10 have gone barefoot. That's how they run in Africa, like all those African runners.
Okay,
oh,
but
don't hate them.
But it's It's a minority of people who wear
so
the
what?
Minimalist running shoes or the barefoot runners.
My son has a friend whose
minority.
my friend's parents have parents who only wear those shoes. Like, I don't know if they like invented them or something, but they I've legitimately probably seen them 150 times, and every single time I see them, I look, and every time I've seen them, they've had those individual toe shoes on.
Yeah.
It's a whole scene. They got to have some stake in the company or something's going on.
Right, because there's no reason why you would walk around wearing those things and subject yourself to that much ridicule unless there was monetary gain in it for you.
I have one final call. Dan, go ahead, Dan.
Hey, after that disgusting filth of a woman just talked about stepping in chicken blood and poop, I just saw DA run down the hallway with a big thing of lotion. I don't know what he's doing.
You're very dry skin. Brian Sheecloth just said Winship will get you some UFOs.
That's right.
It will cure your pain.
UFO is very popular now. Yep.
No, that's the opposite. They're like super, like arched, comfy. You're looking for minimalist stuff.
No.
On the rare occasions when I wear slides,
if
I wear
Winship
UFOs.
has them, I think UFOs might be a company that we're in bed with.
I went. That's the only pair that I own, and they're specifically for either the pool or getting in and out of the hot tub, and they're super comfortable, and I love them. But that's it. I wouldn't wear them out anywhere in public, and I certainly wouldn't walk my dog barefoot. God, that is I can't tell you how disgusting and weird that is.
It's like a horror movie.
It is.
It really is. All right. Well, listen, I apologize to society. You can go to @FredToucher and see what my dog ate yesterday. It took the head off an animal.
Oh.
And then it sat there looking cool over the corpse with some reason aluminum foil around it. I don't know what's going on back there, but he's got business to take care of.
You walk barefoot in that backyard?
Oh, no. No. That would be over the line. I can't go back there barefoot. I mean, all 4 feet of it? I mean, no way. Yeah, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox will return from the All-Star break tonight. They're in L.A. to play the Dodgers. Their 2025 schedule was announced yesterday. The opener is in Texas against the Rangers March 27th. The home opener Friday, April 4th against St. Louis. Celtics play Dallas in Summer League play tonight. Tip time at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And in golf, round 2 of the Open Championship underway in Scotland. Shane Lowry has a 2-shot lead at 7 under par. Tiger Woods fired an 8-over yesterday. He is now 11 over for the tournament on the 12th hole. He is only 3 shots out of last place. Sports Hub headlines are powered by the commuter rail. Heading to see Metallica at Gillette? Take the train. Round-trip tickets are just $20, and they're on sale today on the M-Ticket app. So buy yours before they sell out. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. I will tell you one thing that's legitimately cool about the British Open is that they have those like crazy bunkers with rocks.
Pot bunkers.
And
right?
when they knock it off the side and like get it on the green, like there was a shot when we were doing the last break where Hardy was making fun of me too much. Everyone felt a little uncomfortable with it. The guy banked one, like so say he was like his back was to the green because wherever the ball was, like he couldn't get it out, and he banked it off the side, and it got within 15 feet of the hole. That's like, because that gets into like putt-putt stuff. Like, that's basically a putt-putt shot there.
Yeah, I wonder if, I don't know if you can take unplayable lies if you're up against the wall of a bunker. Because.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you can.
No, because that's not a.
You can physically put the club head on the ball, so it's not unplayable.
Yeah, and it's the design of the course. So
Yeah.
I think that if it's the design of the course. You know what I'm saying?
If you took it unplayable, there's a penalty stroke, and you take it back on the line.
Yeah, but I don't think that you could do that.
I don't think so either. Otherwise, a lot of these guys would be doing that.
And it also would kind of suck if you were up against it. You could take an unplayable lie there.
Yeah. So Shane Lowry now with a 2-stroke lead over Dan Brown. I don't know nothing about.
I love
Dan
his
Brown.
books.
Oh,
he's all about horse racing.
What's your favorite?
I don't know. Ask my dad. Every Christmas, my mom gets him a Dan Brown book.
Really?
That's all I know about it is my father. My father loves anything they sell at an airport. My father might read 2 books a day, but they're not good books. They're like crap.
They're ones that you're like 180 pages. You just shred them.
My mother and father walk around with crappy paperbacks in their hands. Like they just walk around with them all day. So like that's what they do. Like my dad would sit, like when my foot was all messing with me, my dad would sit at the hospital. He didn't care. He'd be there for 8 hours. He just sit there reading those dumb books.
I read the Da Vinci Code, which is a Dan Brown book.
Oh, that's Dan Brown, yeah.
Okay. And then when I saw the movie,
I read Da Vinci Code too.
And I haven't been able to verify this online. Next time, and maybe we can pull like just a little audio, Mike, a little audio of Tom Hanks from the Da Vinci Code. I think he had about the level of cold that I have right now during the entire filming of the Da Vinci Code. Tom Hanks sounds like he's got a stuffed up nose in that movie. And there's nothing you can do about it. You got like, what were we talking about the other day, Fred? Like maybe 30, 45 days at the most to shoot a movie. And like when you're shooting it, that's when you're shooting it. No matter what happens, the movie is being shot over those weeks on those locations, and that's it. And if Tom Hanks showed up with a cold for, a week's worth of the filming, well, that's it. We got to do it unless you're going to go back and dub his voice over.
You ever read that book about the making of Bonfire of the Vanities, the movie?
No.
Oh, it's like because it's one of the biggest disasters ever in film history.
Is that Bruce Willis in there?
Hanks,
Bruce Willis comes off great.
Wait, Willis is the writer who saves his career, and Hanks is the billionaire?
Yeah, Bruce Willis was wildly miscast, and Bruce Willis not only walked around with an entourage, he walked around with an entourage that included another Bruce Willis.
What?
A guy that looked exactly like him, so he could pass him off as himself.
Oh, so he could escape attention.
So in a sea of disastrous egos, it's a Brian De Palma film, in the sea of disastrous egos, Bruce Willis shines so far above that. Now, it's a shame what's happening to him now, as I need to say, because Lord knows if something bad's happened to you medically, it cures every time you were a dick.
That was such a weird thing when he agreed to be a part of, 20 movies in the last contract that he signed, and he has to appear in just a few minutes of each one. But the deal was they could use his image on the DVD cover or the artwork, for the on-demand listings, and he was just paid a flat fee, I think, for lending his likeness and a few lines of dialogue to a whole bunch of movies before he was forced to stop working.
Oh, I can tell the story on the air that I told you guys. So take you back to 1989. Bruce Willis is the host of Saturday Night Live. He's one of the biggest stars in the country. He goes, and it's time for him to do his monologue. Do we have it?
I have Tom Hanks stuffed up in the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, but this is better. So so Bruce Willis says "Hey, I'm Bruce Willis, and I used to be the catering guy here." Mild chuckles, and he goes, "But I always wanted to play with the band."
Oh no!
And he gets up there with a harmonica and sings an entire blues song with the band. The YouTube clip is 5.5 minutes. The song is 4 minutes long of him playing with the band, and it's an old blues song with him talking kind of like an old black guy, like that real uncomfortable Billy Crystal kind of thing.
Oh, face, yeah.
So the next week, Rick Moranis is the host.
Oh yeah,
he comes out. He comes out, and he comes dancing out kind of fake, and he dances up to G.E. Smith, the guitar player, leader of the band. And he tells him, mimics for him to come give him the guitar, and he puts the guitar on, and he starts acting like he's playing the guitar, and then he gives it back, and he starts dancing around, and he dances up to the saxophone player, and he starts waving at him, going bring it here. The saxophone player puts the saxophone in his mouth, and they start playing this solo thing, and he grabs a bunch of instruments and starts playing them. So Bruce Willis made such an ass of himself that the writers wrote. And Rick Moranis agreed to act like a jackass playing all the instruments to make fun of the host from the week before, which I never knew.
Unprecedented, I think.
Oh, that's got to be completely unprecedented.
I don't think has that ever happened since?
No,
not a chance.
No, because they usually bow to all those idiots.
Yes.
Nowadays they have 7 stars on every show. They make cameos. If they're doing an impression, they have the guy they do the impression of walk up behind him oh no, he's going to find out that the real guy's behind him.
Yeah.
No, that was actually a little subversive. The big star we had on last week was such a prick, and we agreed to it. I mean, they were in on it.
No,
they agreed to
if it were today, they would have the star come back and hey, you're making fun of me, and no, it's okay, we're still friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, here's Tom Hanks.
If you'd be so kind as to show us the symbols for man and woman, please.
Oh, no balloon animals. Huh. I can make a great duck. This is the original icon for male. It's a rudimentary phallus.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely, he's stuffed out. A rudimentary phallus. You heard what he said. Don't get all bothered.
It's rated R, right?
What?
Can't talk about phalluses.
Why?
It's a rudimentary phallus.
Yeah.
Did he sit on it?
Ooh,
what was that? Oh, you sat on the rudimentary phallus.
How do you feel?
Mr. Costanza.
Million to
1 in a
shot,
million
Doc.
one shot.
Million to
there
one.
you go. Everyone loves Seinfeld. Hardy and I are both total losers that have seen every episode 150 times. And I don't apologize. You know what's an unfunny Instagram account? And then if I will stop saying random things in a row, is they combine Seinfeld with The Sopranos, and it's never funny. I would think that it was funny, and it's never funny.
It's kind of a funny premise, but I haven't laughed at one of them.
Yeah. The Sopranos was a great show, but, it's been off the air a real long time.
Right.
It's consistent referencing is a bit much.
There was an account for a while that was modern day Seinfeld that would explain situations that George and Jerry would be getting into.
I thought that
now.
was kind of funny.
Now that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
But this mashup of Seinfeld and The Sopranos, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment with the news you can use.
More Dutcher and Hardy on the way.
end tonight. The Red Sox visit the LA Dodgers late this evening out on the West Coast in the opener of a 3-game series. They also found out about their 2025 schedule for next season. And the Sox open up that season March 27th in Texas against the Rangers. The home openers against St. Louis on April 4th. Celtics play Dallas later today in Las Vegas in Game 4 of their Summer League schedule. The Green are 2-1 so far. The U.S. Olympic team has 2 exhibition games left before they head to Paris for the Summer Games. The Athletic is reporting this morning that after missing the first 3 games on this schedule, Kevin Durant is due back at practice today. The Clippers traded Russell Westbrook to Utah. The Jazz will buy out Westbrook's contract, and then he will sign with Denver. And in round 2 of the Open Championship underway at Royal Troon, at the moment, Shane Lowry has a 2-shot lead. It's 7 under par. However, he lost his ball on the 11th hole and is in big trouble there. The news isn't any better for Tiger Woods. He is 4 over through 12 holes and 12 over for the tournament. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888. Call 128. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Why? Why do
it was the music of the time?
Okay, so what is the adage that all actors want to be musicians, all musicians want to be actors, and everybody wants to be an athlete?
Everyone's so dumb that Bruce Willis did a cover of "Express Yourself" that was a top 20 hit.
Yeah,
"Express Yourself."
Yes,
20 years after that song had been made. went and took it. It goes, and they just said, "Oh." And what did he sing into, John, in a commercial?
Oh, it was a Seagram's wine cooler commercial.
Golden wine cooler.
That's right. It's wet and it's dry.
So when I think of wine coolers, I think middle-aged guys, and I think the blues.
He's kind of walking along on a porch with guys, playing the harmonica and the guitar, and he's singing away.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was a real dick. I'll tell you that. A real piece of crap. But that being said, Hardy, it is time to get to the big-time news.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. It's news. Less sports kind of meets newsflash on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, Hardy, what do we have today?
A few stories. Mike, we're going 3, 2, 1, right?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, yep. 3, 2, 1.
We're going to Florida first? No, we're going to the Needham pool massacre. This was an incident, and as you know, Fred, we're in the dog days of summer here. The heat, the humidity. You head to the town pool when you want to cool off, but sometimes that can go real bad.
It's a big price tag for something that was just so readily and easily avoidable.
Relentless heat adds insult to injury in Needham, where crews are working quickly to fix a frustrating issue at the Rosemary Recreation Complex. The deep pool for lap swimming is closed after a glass bottle shattered and pieces fell in.
I heard people bitching about this at Buff's 2 days ago at the table next to us. I actually know this story from the water cooler, if you would.
Eyewitness accounts.
Shards of glass can float, and therefore they can go in people's eyes if they're not wearing goggles, or they can get swallowed.
So now, just a month after it opened for the season, the same pricey process to make it safe.
Drain it, power wash it, clean it. It's actually in the refill stage right now. And
absolute nightmare. If you've got a huge pool that, wait a second, one jar of salsa ended up dropping and breaking, and now you have to, what do? Drain the entire pool. Tens of thousands of gallons. There's no other way around it. You got to do it. It's like, Fred, you worked in restaurants. The worst thing you could do when it was busy on a Friday night, break a glass in the ice.
Oh, yeah, you break a glass in the ice, they have to change the whole ice system. Then you got to make new ice, and that takes like 2 hours to get the ice going again.
Get all the ice out, do everything. So that's what they've had to do in Needham. Drain the pool, power wash, and it's only, as we know, the hottest part of the season.
And then once it's full, which takes roughly 24 hours, then we'll treat it, shock it.
Many Needham neighbors feel frustrated because the rules about glass are posted and clear.
I can think of many other things that people would rather spend 20 grand of our public dollars doing. It's really...
How is that $20,000? How does that cost $20,000 to drain something and fill it with water? Is that $20,000 worth of water? It's $20,000 worth of water.
Well, clean it, and then you got to shock chemical it after you filled it.
Okay, so I clean it. I pay a guy $20 to clean the thing.
Oh, pretty big. It looks like a big pool.
How much do you get paid to power wash something?
How much you offering? I got a power wash.
I'm asking Dan, but you
seem to be in an emergency type situation. So someone's coming out here probably upcharging you to say, "Hey, you know what? We know we can see your."
Then get your neighbor with a power washer to power wash it. What? Why? I don't understand. What are you looking at?
Trying to read the story because I wasn't up on some of the details.
Yeah, but I don't need you to know the details.
Okay.
I need you to tell me.
He needs a quote.
Yeah,
like power washing the pool.
The quote was $20,000.
Do you have a power washer?
I do not.
You do, don't you, Hardy?
2.
How much would it cost you to go out there and power wash the thing?
Of course.
Does your power washer have the ability to clean this pool?
Of course it does. Might take me a while.
Okay.
I would have done it for $6,000.
What if they said that they let you walk around and fix some other stuff?
$4,000.
You could have yours. All right, so $4,000. How much is that? And the water can't cost that much money. So I mean, you get that done for $6,000.
Seems like a lot of money. The chemicals are really expensive on a fill. I mean, that's when you're going to use the most chemicals. It's not on the maintaining; it's the fill, the initial fill.
But whatever. But I'll tell you this: you know what? If the society would eschew footwear more and walk around barefoot, then maybe people would be more reticent to bring glass into areas.
I see.
If you're just joining us, Hardy attacked me because I don't have shoes on today. That I have the audacity to wear. To not have anything on my feet when I sit in my chair, and Wallach agreed with him. And then the callers called in, and they were like, "Oh God, you two." They did not like Wallach and Hardy.
It was bad enough at walking in here and seeing you curl your toes around the bottom rung of your chair and your.
Why did you see it? Why are you looking at my feet? I know to look at your feet. I couldn't tell you what shoes you have on.
Yeah, because you don't care.
I don't.
But
is that a bad thing?
The fact that those same feet that I look at now could have been walking on a sidewalk last night, as you said, you sometimes take your dog out for a short walk barefoot.
Oh, there's a good chance they were
on a city sidewalk. To me, it's just.
And I don't shower every day.
And again, all the more reason.
But here I am living the life. Jay, go ahead.
So they don't even have to do all that stuff that they have trucks. They'll pump your water out of your pool into their trucks, their tanks. They can sit there. You can clean up the pool, and then they just put that water right back in. So you don't have to buy all new chemicals or anything.
Yeah, and Bill Murray in Caddyshack, they just had him do it, and there was poo in that thing.
Well, they thought it was. It turns out it was a Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
Just get down there with a vacuum cleaner.
Huh?
Just get down there with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. $20,000 seems a very governmenty thing. If I could get on my soapbox here for a moment.
A wet dry shop vac, power wash, chemicals. Yeah, I mean, all in, I'm talking like $6,000. Sure.
Yeah, all in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't cost. You would take less than $6,000 if you could be a big shot with a power washer and go out there and power wash the thing. He said $6,000, but you know he doesn't. That he'd take way less.
Why do you have two of them?
Two power washers?
Yes.
Well, one of them was on the fritz for a while. I had a carburetor issue, and I'm not going to say who I loaned it to, but let's just say it was an engineer who assured me he knew somebody who could fix it here at the radio station, and they had that thing for
it was Dennis?
2 years. And in the interim, I needed a power washer, so my good friends at Boston Lawnmower suggested and recommended a Steel electric power washer, which is really handy and does a nice job. But for the bigger jobs, got to get the gas baby back out, which I now have returned to me, and it has been repaired thanks to my neighbor Roger. Shout out, Roger.
So Dennis didn't get the job done.
It wasn't Dennis specifically who was.
But he was holding it in limbo.
He was.
They were probably running around town with your power washer.
That's a good point.
You're probably using
to
it
hose
on,
down the boat, clean it. Yeah.
Oh, but using it on prostitutes.
Yeah.
You got a dirty power washer.
He probably
now.
was using it on his boat.
Yeah.
Do you? But if they said, Hardy, you could be a big shot. You come out to Needham with your power washer.
Yeah.
And like we'll to put a picture of you, put you in the community paper. Power washer Hardy, power washer Rob Poole comes out,
saves the day,
and then you could be like Rob Poole.
Yeah.
Oh, Poole the power washer. Yeah.
I'll power washer Poole.
Pool power.
A little side gig.
Pool power washing. Yeah. Okay. It's workshop. Go ahead.
Side hustle.
Yeah.
Like it.
I mean, you would do it. I bet you'd do it in the hundreds. What if they give you a new power washer, $500? Like a real nice power washer.
That I get to keep?
Yeah, it'd be a
Sure
trade
thing,
deal.
baby.
Yeah.
In a van, and they put it, and they would lift it and put it right in your truck for you. You could help, but they would help too.
Yeah. I want to be part of the
Then
process.
you'd have 3 power washers.
I want to strap that sumbitch down because it's going to be on wheels, and otherwise it's going to be rolling all over that bed.
Yeah,
It's gotta
you
be
strap it
strapped.
down. But I'll tell you this, is that he wouldn't even have 3 power washers because he could sell the other 2.
Oh, no, he wouldn't sell
Yeah,
it.
he could. He could take them in the back of his pickup
Do
truck,
you-
take them to the hardware store.
Do you think he would sell it? That's the
Yeah,
point.
yeah, because he could put them in the back of his truck, take them to the hardware store, and start negotiating.
See, I don't think he would sell them.
He could put his hands in his pockets and go, and shrug his shoulders. Go, what do you think?
Yeah,
for the both of them.
I don't need to. I do have a redundancy right now in the power washer, but anything else I have more than one of, I either sell or give away. Most often I give it away. Like my last snowblower, I had a neighbor
Gave
who
it to
didn't
some
have
neighborhood
one.
kids.
I did. No, a neighbor of mine didn't have one. I'm like, here
He
you
goes, let's play clean it out with your hand. He's like, you know what you do is if that thing gets
Right.
clogged, you don't turn it off.
Yes.
Tip it over and just shove your hand in it. I have a friend who lost a toe and a friend's mom who lost a finger to snow blowers.
Oh, yeah.
Two people that I know very well growing up. Faye Heller and Matt Quisling.
Which I've never understood. And it was commonplace back in the day. Like everybody was losing a finger or some kind of an appendage to a snowblower. Like you were shoving your hand down there while the things were churning.
Two. Faye Heller lost a finger because she tried to clean it with her hand, and Matt Quisling lost a toe, even though he had shoes on.
I guess old school snow throwers and blowers, like there wasn't that safety switch. If you turned it on, it was just churning like an old school lawnmower.
A man was a man back then. I'll tell you that much.
Mike says his baseball coach when he growing up lost 4 fingers in a snowblower.
Nice baseball coach. You can't even play.
No.
All right. We'll continue with the news in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and
Now I'm really barefoot. I'm just I'm squeezing my toes between the rug.
So you walk out on a sidewalk, even in your neighborhood, which is a nice neighborhood.
Oh, it's elite.
But animals and probably an occasional vagrant are going out there and using that sidewalk for their toilet. And you'll go out and walk barefoot.
You're saying the homeless use the sidewalk as the toilet?
Oh, they love it. Oh my God! And then they purposely find the cracks in between the concrete blocks, and are like, oh, let's see if I can, do something in here and make little art things.
The best thing
art installations.
The best thing about that Four Seasons by the Common is that it almost seems like homeless people deliberately crap in front of that window. It's like this famous window that's been written about in all these books and stuff, and like you sit like at the Four Seasons, you're like, wow, it looks right into the Common. And I think the 2 times I've ever been there, and one was at Christmas time. One time a guy took a leak, and one time a guy took a dump.
Nice.
Like right by the window, and
Good.
It couldn't have been better.
Good.
I was like, kids, look.
But you're
taking a dump.
You're going out and walking on a filthy sidewalk, which never gets cleaned, and then taking your
come out and
barefoot
power wash it.
inside your house.
Ooh.
The invitation.
Well done.
Stopped him right in his tracks. That was good.
No, but yeah,
Can I bring my own hose too? Because I have a special hose I like to use.
No, that would be over the line. Do you know that?
And then you go inside your house and you don't shower and you get into bed. You stick your stinking dirty feet inside your sheets.
Yeah, if I walked the dog like around a lot, not that it matters, but yeah, I have gone into bed without showering with dirty feet, probably. Not like disgusting soiled feet, like but probably with.
Well, if
dirt
you're walking
you can't
around
see.
barefoot anywhere, your feet are disgusting and soiled.
Well, you understand what I'm saying. They're not like covered in mud or something, but perhaps like there's dust and stuff.
Do you remember the Alanis Morissette cover of Rolling Stone with her filthy bare feet on it? And it got more reaction than any cover had in a while because people were so
Quentin
grossed
Tarantino
out.
bought all of them.
I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, I watched it on the plane.
Right up until that scene where the girl is what's her name? It's Margot Robbie, right?
Margot Robbie, yeah.
She's in the movie theater.
Yeah, she's got her disgusting dirty feet up on the movie. I'm like, well, there's Quentin. There's Quentin with his foot fetish.
How about when Brad Pitt's taking the girl back to the Manson place and she asks him if he wants her to service him and he says no and she goes okay and she puts her feet up on the dashboard and they're shooting it through the front window.
Yep.
Like there's two just like,
Gratuitous.
I love feet.
Yes.
All right. It is back to news you can use. This is the second story. What do we got here, Hardy? The Needham is paying $20,000 for the pool. What do we have here?
I believe now we go to Florida.
Okay. It's a very surprising. We had a woman call from Florida today.
Mm-hmm.
She thought it was disgusting that I walked barefoot outside. She didn't like it either.
Storms in the forecast. A local teen is recovering after he was hit by lightning while doing yard work.
He is sharing his story less than 24 hours after he ended up in the hospital. He tells News 6 reporter Catherine Silver how fortunate he is to have survived.
The lightning strike was so severe, Daniel Sharkey was left lying on the ground unconscious. Video from this home security camera shows neighbors trying to help the 17-year-old while the storm was passing through Monday night.
I saw it happen. I was looking out my window and I saw this horrible lightning.
He was doing.
You remember when Adolfo saw the guy get electrocuted in front of his house?
On fire. He was running around in his yard on fire.
Saying,
He never
please
brought it
kill
up.
me, please kill me. And Adolfo came in the next day and he said, my power went out. I don't have any power. It sucks. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, no power.
It was
What
like
happened? And he's
3
like, I don't know. He's like, something broke, like a power line broke. And we're like, okay, good. And then he turns around and 4 days later, 5 days later, a week later, goes, yeah, I saw a guy die in front of my house. And we're like, what?
What?
And he's like, yeah, this guy, he was hanging from a wire and it electrocuted him. And he was running around going, please kill me, please kill me. And we're like, that didn't happen. And then we looked it up, and it had happened.
Police blotter.
And it had happened, and it had happened in front of his house. Everything Adolfo said was true, but he waited a week to tell us. He was the opposite of this woman. I saw it. I saw it happen. What are you looking out the window for so much? Mind your own business, lady. I saw it happen. Shut the blinds.
Lightning. He was doing yard work when it rolled in.
The storm I could see it in the distance, but I was just trying to wrap up before I headed out, so it was only a few minutes.
Matt McCarthy's cousin? I was out doing yard work, which is more work than the Red Sox have done all year.
I was trying to get it done before the Marlins came on the TV set. I was trying to get back inside, under shelter.
Yeah, I want to. If I would have stayed out there any longer, I would have ended up like John Henry, all wet.
I feel for this kid. I've done that. Anyone who's done yard work has done the same thing. Oh, I'm going to get this done before the rain comes. I'm going to get the grass cut, and that way I'll get a good soaking on the fresh cut.
You've leaned into this dad thing. You are really like a Midwestern dad.
Oh, this does not make me unique at all. People love to get their grass cut before the rain starts.
No, I know, but just you power washing, cutting the grass.
Oh, sure.
You're like a young Tim Allen.
I greased up them garage doors yesterday. They're a little too loud for my liking.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Would you use KY?
Yeah.
Just had it laying around. Got to lube these sons of bitches up.
Sure.
Get a little Astroglide on.
Yeah, that container of bacon grease I've been saving ever since I was a young boy. I'm like, you know what? We never use this.
My grandpa
Let me
used
try
to
it
put
on
it
the
in a
garage
can.
rails.
Put it in a coffee can, my grandpa.
Yeah.
I could see it in the distance, but I was just trying to wrap up before I headed out, so it was only a few minutes.
I mean, just Sally couldn't land the final steps, and I was like, Jesus, we're going to do this in the rain if we have to. My God, learn the choreography or get out of the program.
I think in this part of the story is where they're going to explain how frequent is the lightning in this part of Florida.
It's frequent.
Yeah.
It's about as frequent as John Henry putting his foot in his mouth.
Bam. I was weed whacking at my neighbor's house, just trimming some grass, and
I was just in front of my neighbor's house, peering in the window, pretending to weed whack.
You know what? That's what you get for
whacking weeds.
and that's what you get for saying weed whacker. It's a line trimmer. Come on, kid.
I was out there weed whacking, just staring in windows, seeing what was going on, finding out what he was watching. Maybe seeing what interests he had so we could strike up a conversation easier. Oh, I see that you're a fan of Tombstone or Yellowstone.
Either
one. You like cowboy movies. And so I went out and I bought myself a 10-gallon hat and some boots. And I just started parading it around front, hoping he'd notice me. So, you like cowboys, huh? How you doing, partner? Giddy up. Have you seen Brokeback Mountain? It's about two fellas cowboys.
You sound like Corky Sinclair from Waiting for Guffman, talking about his wife Bonnie. I do most of the shopping for my wife, Bonnie, and I saw a pantsuit for her.
I thought you said I sounded like Corky from that one show.
No.
Bam. I was weed whacking at my neighbor's house, just trimming some grass, and
just whacking weeds and grass and everything else, just whacking the heck out of it. I was just like, what needs whacking? Hey, just out here, neighbor, with my weed whacker, just whacking stuff if you need anything whacked. Just whacking away. Scoop-a-doop, boop, boop, whack, whack. Just whacking and whacking. And then the rain came, and I'm like, notice me. I'm out here in the rain.
You know me, I'll whack anything, even if I get all wet.
I was doing like this Gene Kelly thing in the rain, and
the next thing I know, I wake up face down in a puddle.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, now
that's too bad.
Now you're just teeing it up for him,
man.
Whoops daisies. I never heard this. That's nice that he said that. That adds to it. And I was like, jeepers creepers. Hello. Throw me in the briar patch. I woke up face down and I was like, Yahtzee.
Woke up face down in a puddle, and the lightning must have been attracted to my metal belt buckle because my belt was off. My pants are down around my knees.
I don't remember a thing, Wink. What happened?
The next thing I know, I wake up face down in a puddle. I'm trying to scream, but I'm incapable of screaming. And I know I'm just rolling around, just waiting.
That's what the ball gag is there for.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Nicholas, does this sound familiar? Now you got to listen to know. You don't even know how I'm making fun of you.
For someone to find me. I'm sure this only took...
Neighbor, excuse me. Hi, I'm outside lying. I've been hit by lightning. My pants are off. Excuse me. I'm face down. Oh, you're going to have to pick me up. It's dead weight. No, use your hips.
Seconds.
Flash.
Seconds.
Sharkey says this tree that took the brunt of the hit may have saved his life.
So if you think about how much energy it takes to do that to 30 inches of oak wood, it would be absolutely fatal if it was all concentrated in one person.
There's such a thing as too big size queen. That's just preposterous. Put it away.
That's too much power for one man.
Hello. Christmas morning, no siree. Well, good thing Sharky lived.
Yeah.
Just whacking away out there, just saying, hey, yoo-hoo, look at me.
Fred, you're a big fan of people making noises when they get hurt.
Yeah.
The woman who fell out of the...
that's good stuff.
There's one very much like that. I stumbled upon this yesterday. Apparently it happened a couple of months ago. A guy's in one of those paraglider type of things.
Yeah.
You know, he describes it when he makes the 911 call, but he's up there. He's a famous YouTuber, and he's in his flying contraption, and he takes a fall that, according to the video, was about 85 feet. And he's gliding along, and he's making his YouTube video, and then next thing you know, he's on the ground, and the sound that he makes, I don't know if you're...
All right, get with it. Let me hear it. I'm prepared. Let me hear it.
48 miles per hour. Come on, baby.
Everything about it is perfect.
He hasn't even hit the ground yet.
Hey Siri, call 911. Hey Siri, call 911. Call 911. Emergency.
Call Raul. Hey, I might say, guess what? I don't believe that. I don't. That sounds like a guy in community theater.
No, this guy is legit. I went and researched it afterward. Pelvis broken in 3 places, broken rib, broken arm.
Oh my gosh.
That's my favorite thing.
That's great.
It goes on for 2 more minutes. He just won't stop. But that initial fall.
What did he break?
Oh, God.
What did he, what even happened?
Pelvis, ribs, lungs, and it was like, it looks like a parachute. He's got essentially a big room fan, on a backpack, and the chute loses its, I don't know, whatever you call it, a parachute or call it, tells us what it is. But the canopy loses it, and he just goes down in almost an instant.
Hey Siri, call 911. I imagine like having Siri call 911. Like I'm doing it into my phone now. Siri call 911. Nothing's happening.
And every 911 operator is the same. She asks him like, "What now? What happened to you?" "My flying machine went down."
All right, Blake, go ahead.
Hey, Freddie, what's going on?
What's up, Blake?
Dude, loved your impression, man. I've been listening for a while. I just want to say I'm a huge fan. You had me absolutely dying on air. That was awesome, man.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know where he was going, but it was a compliment. I thought it might be.
Call 911. Emergency.
Dumbass. What could have gone wrong in your flying machine?
Yeah, you took a box fan that you bought at Home Depot. You put it to your JanSport backpack. You had a parachute that you bought from Army Surplus.
And you did it for glory. That's the thing. That's what makes it so great, is that it wasn't like he was doing it for fun either. Like, or he was doing it for, like, the thrill.
Right.
He was doing it specifically to look cool for people on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you get. With the pride comes the fall. You know what I'm saying?
And want to film that whole thing. Make sure you film it. Make sure that everyone sees this.
This should happen to more people that film everything.
Yep.
Like, every time you film something, you should get punched in the face. Like, every time you film something so people will, like it, you should just get punched in the face.
Make sure you
break
post
your
that.
pelvis.
Yep.
I'm going to tape myself, and it's going to look so cool. I'm going to be on this flying machine. No, it doesn't. He's probably thrilled that it got all these hits. They don't care.
Hey, Siri, call 911.
Before he fell is the funniest part. Just when you can hear the motor dying. That's the funniest part right there.
That's the way
you can hear the propeller dying.
Moment of panic when you realize you're a dumbass.
Yeah, and like what a pussy. He's like yelling like that. Like, get out of here. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines. the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. FanDuel Sportsbook. Ryan, this has happened to some people. I've gotten some emails. Ryan, go ahead.
Hey guys, so I'm driving along, listening to the last bit with the guy crashing, yucking it up, and you said, hey Siri, call blah blah blah, and it's not doing anything. And I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I hear 911. What's your emergency?
Oh.
I was going along, and I heard it in the background. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then listening, and 911, sir, what's your emergency? So it did work.
All right.
Just to let you know.
Sorry, Ryan.
They might be mad at you guys.
Yeah, well, you should be pretty PO'd about the whole thing, to be honest. Yeah, that's great. I love that. All right. There is the grid is down, and now it's affecting the hospitals. Already, you said off air.
Yes, Mass General Brigham has canceled all non-essential surgeries and procedures today. Now, obviously, contact your provider, get in your patient portal, all that. But that was the report there from the actual hospital website and their social media account.
Yeah, North Carolina Airport has Charlotte Douglas International, which you might be flying through today, as it is a absolutely major hub for American. They've advised passengers to stay home unless their flight is confirmed.
Newark now with a ground stop. LaGuardia closed.
Logan still closed.
Yep.
Logan Airport is closed. So what happened, if you're just hearing about this, is Microsoft had a problem, and one of their services that a lot of these businesses use has been compromised. And aviation experts said getting a plane off the ground without a computer is virtually impossible, in case you didn't know. Tell that to the World War II fighter pilots.
Well, tell that to
Snoopy.
Tell that to the guy with the fan strapped across his back and the parachute that he's hanging down.
That'll never not be funny.
No. All right, just play the whole thing.
Hey Siri, call 911.
Oops, sorry about that.
Hey Siri, call 911. Call 911. Emergency.
What are you going to shock?
Oh my gosh.
Go into shock. Have you ever broken a leg or something? I broke a leg one time and I sat down in a chair and started puking, and I didn't carry on like that. My God, I've had my ass beat to the point where they called my parents and they said I was going to be deformed. And I didn't sit there screaming and yelling. Like, go to the internet and look at guys getting knocked out and, like, beat up. Like, boxers don't sit there going, ah! Like, if he broke enough stuff, man, you go into shock. Like, it doesn't hurt right away. It takes, like, a while.
So good.
It's so good. And it's great because he was filming himself.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome. Dude, Johnny Knoxville used to let bulls hit him. He had to wear a catheter for 3.5 years, and because of a bull hitting him.
Right.
And he sat there and took it.
Yeah, maybe never made a sound like that.
Oh, never. They would start laughing. Steven, go ahead.
Yeah, just comment about the computer situation.
Yeah.
There's a software called CrowdStrike. It's a virus protection software for the cloud.
Uh-huh.
And they pushed an update last night to all the businesses, and that update had a bug in it. And that's what crashed the computers.
Okay, so yeah. I knew it was CrowdStrike, but you're saying there was an update last night with a bug in it, and that is what is crashing all these computers. Yeah. Do you have any insight onto when this might all be, when they can fix it? They said that
they're fixing some places, and when they do it, it does work. Do you have any information on that?
There's a manual workaround, but it's like very labor intensive. So like all the IT guys will have to go around each computer and does kind of like a cold reboot, and then have to erase or rename one of the update files to make it work.
Oh, wow. Because that's what they were saying. They were like, when they reboot the systems, they've been working, but if they have to go to individually to everything, I mean, you might not be flying anytime soon. My flight's on Wednesday to Charleston, where my son may or may not play based on his results of his MRI today. He does not have a Little League shoulder. That has been told. That is when you tear your growth plate in your shoulder.
Okay.
Because they took x-rays and he didn't have that.
So that's good news.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's most likely something less serious than that.
Yeah, and that was only 4 weeks. So, and it's less serious than that. So if he gets his MRI, stop being a wimp.
If he's not going to play, he's still going?
I can't not take him. Like, all his team's going, and they have, like, a lot of fun. I guess, like, kind of the point of it is, like, not even the games. It's, like, having fun. They're all out as a collective, and they all get to go out at night. They're old enough where they can go off on their own.
Right.
But, so I wouldn't, like, not let him go. So, but, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to games. Like, if he's not playing, I'm not going to watch strangers' kids play. I could really care less how the team does. Oh, he would go and yeah, and he would be on the bench and everything. He can hit. He could DH, but he's not going to DH every game. He's basically on this team because he's a pitcher.
How many games are there?
Not as many as you would think. We fly in Wednesday. There's a game at 5:00 on Thursday, a game on Friday, and a game on Saturday, and then that's pool play, and then there's a tournament after that, but they said to fly out Sunday morning, and I just saw that the championship game Sunday evening.
Oh, boy.
And I mean, I got to go to work. Like, I can't, screw around. So I got an 11 o'clock in the morning flight because, because this could happen. The grid could go down, the earlier the flight you're on, like, the more, obviously, the bigger chance you have of getting back here, and I can't miss work. I believe me with Beasley. They're here. You can't miss work. This company does not. You're financially struck when you miss work. Sean, go ahead.
Fred, so I shattered my femur playing pickup football with my friends.
Yeah.
My leg was literally like I was doing a split. You don't go into shock. Oh. The paramedics had to swing my leg around. The best feeling was when they finally put me in traction. Like the popping and I don't know, breaking a bone like that. It just doesn't feel good.
Did you start making those noises?
I hope I took it like a man, but my buddy, as soon as it happened, my buddy ran. We were playing at a school. My buddy ran to the principal's office, and he got the principal to call 911, which the fire department was right down the street. It took them 10 mints to get there. So I was just sitting there split. Full split.
Yeah, that sucks. I told the story where I was the day before college classes started. I was playing this beach volleyball, and I slid on my knees for a ball, and I hit the wooden barrier.
Hell yeah, you did.
And then I stood up, and my knee was exposed, like a flap of skin over my knee just fell open. And Felipe Pinzon passed out. He literally fainted looking at my knee because my knee was exposed. The bone, it was just the bone was exposed. The whole thing, the whole knee was exposed. That didn't even hurt that bad, though. And Rich, I will let you have it. Rich, go ahead.
Hey, I was driving my dog Nico to the kennel for grooming today on the highway, and every time you played the guy yelling, call 911, the Siri on my phone was asking me if it wanted to call 911, so I'm just letting you know that.
All right, we'll stop that then. All right, why did the grid go down? You have some information.
What's that?
Oh, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Riz
have that.
does. Riz, why did the grid go down?
Well, I mean, simply, well, first of all, I apologize. First and foremost, shout out to the Twitch fam.
Okay.
But I believe the reason why the grid's down is basically there was a major glitch. ATMs are down. I think it could have been CM Punk.
Yeah, you're saying CM Punk, they came out with the new T-shirt.
I believe so, and I think Joe Murray thinks so, too.
Yeah, Joe Murray has texted me and said that it is the CM Punk.
One of the best moments on the show, and I was not there for
I
it.
wasn't there either.
Oh.
All right. Oh, no, I was there. I was there.
You know what I really think? So I know this is a wrestling thing, but CM Punk made his return this week, and he had a T-shirt made, and everything went wacky Friday night, and nothing has been the same since. I think that.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll be right back.
More.
are Toucher and Hardy. We were getting an unprecedented amount of phone calls. I wonder it's because the grid's down and people need the radio right now. Logan Airport shut down, if you didn't know. And Microsoft had this thing that shut down, and it's affecting airports and Amazon. I guess it affected. I haven't been on Amazon, but I will go to it right now. Amazon, well, it's working for me, so maybe if you're not Prime. But the ESPN did the greatest athletes, professional athletes since 2000.
List time. Listen up. It's list time. Everybody loves list time. It's not just a waste of time. Who's the best? What's the worst? List time. Everybody loves list time. It's the best and worst things to find. So listen up. It's time for a list.
Yeah, baby. And I guess Olympic athletes are professional athletes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Michael Phelps is number one.
I thought it was the exact opposite.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So, but anyway, he's number one, which he should be, because he won every medal in every sport. Serena Williams is second, which I guess she's a 23 major champion. So I would assume that's good. Lionel Messi is number three, who I hear is good. LeBron is number four. Brady's five. I don't know why Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion. LeBron James, 3-time, what is it? 4-time NBA champion. So if Brady's got 7 and LeBron's got 4, Brady should be ahead of LeBron, but whatever. Roger Federer is 6th. Simone Biles, for some reason, is 7th, even though she crapped out of the last Olympics. I don't think she should be 7th.
I think she's won 7 medals, though.
She has won 7 medals, but you know, just above her is Phelps, who's won 28 medals.
Well, Simone Biles has 4 golds, and compare that to, as you just said, Fred, Michael Phelps, who has 23 gold medals.
Yeah, so they're in different. Simone Biles, I think they were like, it's time for a woman, and we can't justify. I mean, but they already had Serena Williams, who you don't argue with. So I don't know why Simone Biles is in there. Tiger Woods is 8th, 13 major wins. So I guess he got 2 in the 90s. Usain Bolt is very fast. He won 8 gold medals. Kobe is 10.
Kobe.
Djokovic is 11th, but he has more Grand Slams than Federer.
Yep.
So why isn't Djokovic? Is it because he's so controversial he wouldn't get the vaccine?
Maybe.
Rafael Nadal is 12th. Cristiano Ronaldo, which I'll have to take your word for. Steph Curry is 14th. Katie Ledecky, who should be above Simone Biles.
Yes,
she's a 10-time Olympic medalist.
And 7 golds among those 10.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy D, who has a wizard tattoo on his back that takes up his whole back. Tim Duncan is 16. Shaq, who my son cried on his lap, is 17. Patrick Mahomes is 18th.
Do you think Shaq is that good of an athlete?
Yes.
Or is he just I would say, unlikely coordinated for his size basketball player?
I think that makes you an athlete. I mean, he was the most athletic guy his size that I'd ever seen in my life. Like when he was at LSU, that was a whole show. I mean, him at LSU was like a must-see television. I don't know why people come in costume to the radio.
I don't know either. But we're only talking from this century and beyond, and he was at LSU in the 90s.
No, I know. But you asked if he was a great athlete. And I don't think
he's a great athlete. I think he's more coordinated than most people who ever grew to be that size. I think it's about it. He never developed any kind of a shot other than just being underneath.
But just his muscularity and his quickness and ability to jump quickly is athletic. I mean, he's got an athletic body until the end. I mean, he was not athletic at all when he was with the Celtics.
Right.
He was fat.
Yes.
I mean, disturbingly large. Like when I met him,
he's like, because he's already huge. But I've told the story a million times. He was so large, even as a kid, like a 20-year-old kid, that he tried to get with one of the girls on the Rollins basketball team, and she said, "No way."
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want him on top of me.
No, but had he just developed like something other than footwork and passing, he could score when he was down low, and he was an amazing defender, but that's just size and the ability to move. Size and the ability to move, I don't think, makes you one of the greatest athletes of the century.
But what else did you want him to do? He won 4 championships in the century. What else did you want Shaq to do?
Well,
he took Orlando. This was not in this century, but he took Orlando to the finals. Went like his second year. I mean, he was what else do you want him to do?
All the other people on this list actually accomplished things due to their talent and hard work. This is the first guy on the list who's on there mostly because he's big.
Do you think Lewis Hamilton, the auto racer, did it because of talent and hard work?
He's below Shaq.
Oh, Aaron Donald is 20. Diana Taurasi.
Oh, obviously.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the 21st best professional athlete of the century.
And the entire career with the Phoenix Mercury gets her a lot of points.
WNBA's all-time leading scorer, Fred.
And that's a pressure cooker there in Phoenix. I mean, you don't just play for the Mercury and duck out after the games. I mean, Sidney Crosby's 22nd.
Yeah, like honestly,
behind Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, and who's a better athlete, Sidney Crosby or Shaquille O'Neal?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal.
No, he's not.
Shaquille O'Neal's a better athlete than Sidney Crosby.
Well, I don't want to get into a huge semantics thing, but what does it take to be athletic? Coordination.
Shaquille was very coordinated. He just has big hands. That's why he couldn't shoot.
He was an average. Had average coordination for an NBA player. He was just so big.
But every time he was up against guys his size, he dominated them. Like, he could dominate them. He was quicker than them. He was more physical than them.
You talked to some of the players that were around when Shaq was at his prime. He was very fast for a guy his size. I agree with Fred. I think Shaq was a very good athlete.
Thank you, John. It's about time you recovered from that barefoot argument that was going on.
Well, you were wrong about that.
He just didn't develop it into anything. I mean, you can't look at Sidney Crosby and say, if he had done this, this, and this, he could have been. He could have been even better
because he wasn't the athlete that Shaq was. Like, you're asking that he didn't devote himself more to the craft. So if you said like technical, like who's a better basketball player, like in terms of like hard work and like being able to is Steph Curry, because Steph Curry can do all kinds of fancy dribbling. He can shoot from the logo. Like, that's all learned stuff. But in terms of you asked athleticism, Shaquille O'Neal.
And the other thing,
I've died on this hill before, and I'll die on it again. Had he developed something as simple as a hook shot, then he would have been even more dominant. He would be like undoubtedly a top 5 athlete of the last 25 years.
Still won 4 championships. I mean,
that's
all of them.
Yes, and he had Kobe Bryant on his team, and he had other great players that he played with. I mean, he did not win them by himself.
But who has won them by? LeBron didn't win them by himself.
Nobody.
Yeah, no one won them by themselves. Kobe didn't win them by himself. Kobe's ahead of Shaq on this.
You just can't look at the other people above him on the list and say, God, there were things missing in their game. There's nothing missing.
Simone Biles, the ability to perform.
Yeah, well,
I would
take away the twisties, and she's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I mean, she bagged out because she had a mental block.
So we've had 4 tennis players, we got a hockey player, we got an F1 driver, and no boxers, no fighters.
Oh, well,
how about no baseball players?
Got to get to 25.
Wouldn't that be
boxer.
more? No baseball players, and it's not how good an athlete they were; it's what they've accomplished in pro sport. But there's been no baseball player. Kevin Garnett is 23, ahead of Pujols, which is ludicrous. Floyd Mayweather is 25. There's your boxer.
There you go.
Ahead of Peyton Manning, which is ludicrous. Randy Moss is 27th. Jokic is 28th. And finally, Michael Schumacher is finally.
I was wondering when he was going to show up.
Trout is 30th because he's accomplished so much. Clayton Kershaw is 31st, even though he's still playing and he's hurt.
Again.
And then at 32 comes Marta. Not the train system in Atlanta that very well could be shut down today during the glitch. This lady don't shut down for nothing.
No.
Do you know Marta?
I do.
Do you knew who she was before this?
Yes.
Do you know who Marta is?
Brazilian soccer player.
Did you know that before you just saw it?
No.
Yeah, neither did I. But Marta was a 6-time FIFA World Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm. There will, according to ESPN, there will never be another Marta.
You know who she's better than? Miguel Cabrera, who's right behind her. Miguel Cabrera won 2 MVPs and a Triple Crown and 4 batting titles and a championship.
It's like when Tony goes to meet the Colombians for the Coke deal in Scarface. I am Hector, and this is Marta. Okay, Marta?
That's why they call her Marta. That's actually not a name.
Oh, it's a nickname from that scene in Scarface.
Yeah, the big fans of Scarface over there in Brazil. Tamika Catchings.
She's good.
She won the WNBA championship in 2012.
Yeah, with the Fever?
I don't know. She is ahead of Dwayne Wade. And then finally Maya Moore gets recognized with her. She's on team, according to her jersey, Mayo Clinic. And she won 4 WNBA championships. Ichiro is ahead of Barry Bonds, who's ahead of Kevin Durant, who's ahead of Justin Verlander, who's ahead of Dirk Nowitzki, who's ahead of Giannis.
I think it makes sense
ahead of Alex Rodriguez. I like how Giannis is ahead of Alex Rodriguez.
I think it makes sense that Maya is ahead of both Giannis and at 45 David Ortiz.
Yes, David
absolutely.
Ortiz.
Absolutely.
Well, you had to get Michaela Schifrin in, who's a 3-time Olympic medalist. Which I would imagine there's several people that have won 3 Olympic gold medals in the 21st century. Wouldn't you say that? That there's got to be a lot. There's got to be a lot of people that have won 3 gold medals. Dozens of people that have won 3 gold medals in the last 24 years. Yes, I would say so. Think about it, like disciplines where there's like more than one event.
Sure.
Like rowing. Like you don't think like a guy's won like a bunch of rowing, or if you're in track. And you get to be in the relay as well. Like the U.S. relay teams used to win every gold medal, like no matter what it was. Jimmy Johnson, finally the coach at Miami,
it's a different.
number 47.
Might be a different one.
Some fellow named Henry, soccer. He plays for
Henry.
the Zero. It's Henry.
I don't know.
Aitana Bonamati is 49.
Oh, Thierry Henry, French soccer player.
Yeah. Aitani Bonamati. She won the League of F championship 5 times.
Banana Fanta Fofati.
Zinedine Zidane. So I went, who's this? And I did read this yesterday. And it said he transformed soccer into an art form. He had elegance with the ball. Do you like how fruity these the adjectives for soccer players are?
Because it's why? Because it's the beautiful game.
Yes, that's exactly my point. Right. His technical ability, and his skills made him a magician. He also remembered forever for netting 2 goals in the '98 World Cup final. Well, that won't help him this century, will it? I like how you have to throw that in there to justify Zinedine Zidane. And the Steve Nash, whose wife gave birth to while he was in the delivery room,
Leandro Barbosa's kid,
a black child.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve Nash was married to a white woman, and when she gave birth, out came an African-American child.
And then Steve Nash
What a blessed event.
Got on the phone with his lawyer, and they were divorced shortly after that.
And I imagine he still had to pay out the nose, because that doesn't not get you alimony, I can tell you that. And Adrian Beltre, of course, is number 52, ahead of Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Well, there you have it. ESPN got what they wanted.
And Mia Hamm's ahead of Mookie Betts.
Well, Mia Hamm I've heard of. Like, I'm not begrudging them having women on it. I'm just saying, like, what? Like, Ray Lewis is 61 on the account of his ability to kill in this century and get away with it. All right. We'll be back. It's our big award-winning email segment. You'll get it.
I'll tell you who belongs on this list, and I don't see him on here. Probably, I would say, the most impressive athletic achievement in this century.
What's that?
And it's not on here.
What is it?
Alex Honnold, the guy who free soloed El Capitan.
Oh, yeah.
Like that guy.
Yeah.
Any of these people and any of the things that they've done on this entire list pale in comparison to that one thing alone.
I agree. Tony, you work at Logan Airport.
I can't say that officially, Fred, but what I can say is that today's show is the reason why I don't use the Waze app.
You guys have caused so many superfluous calls to 911. It's out of control. The spurious information regarding the airport, I am watching the planes take off as we speak.
Well, blame Jonathan for that.
Well, I'm looking at an FAA website, so I apologize for being wrong, but the FAA website is wrong.
And CNN did report that Logan was closed. Did it just open, or has it been open for a while?
No, around 5, it slowed down to almost but planes never really stopped.
I think certain airlines.
Well, certain airlines did, but you're saying Logan did not.
No, American's been taking off. They just took off.
Yeah, because
they never stopped.
it was Delta, Allegiant, and something else, or were the
United,
were the carriers, the domestic carriers that weren't going. But you're saying now,
50 people flying Allegiant, they can wait. But
that's what I said. I said, why do they even need the internet just to kick you onto the plane? All right.
No. They use a sextant when they fly, so it'll be fine.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
They use Dead Reckoning.
I like how you couldn't say if you worked at Logan. I didn't know that was classified. I mean, you're not allowed to call into the radio stations.
Well,
okay. Everyone should be allowed to have a good time.
There's rules.
All right. Oh, I'm really rubbing my foot against this chair. Guys.
No.
And when you were out of the room, I switched chairs with one of you.
Oh, that's wrong. That's just wrong.
So now you're touching my foot.
Ew.
Yeah, but I have shoes on, so it's okay. That's why I wear shoes. So gross. Nice job.
Fred has just put his
nice
foot
job,
up on the counter
Nice
there.
job, Zoe.
Yeah. This reminds me of the
Does that
time.
look dirty to you?
This reminds me, Fred, of the time where you were somewhere else and you had blotches all over your foot and you held it up to the camera. What was that for? Was that for gout? What was that for?
Oh, that's when they told me that I had I was, what do you call it? They thought I had some kind of weird infection, like a staph infection.
You were remote,
but it was
and
gout.
And you put
You know
the foot
you know what stopped gout?
right up to the camera.
Not being as fat. Kind of got rid of gout right away.
Congratulations.
But it's like if I told you your feet were like disgusting and weird looking, you'd be, I don't care. Like, that's not right. You do care.
No. Is there dirt on them? Is what I said. Not if my feet are weird looking. I know they're not. I don't need your justification.
I'm here to tell you they are. And men's feet should be, for the most part, hidden in shoes.
What's wrong with my foot? Do tell. Let it spill.
It's kind of got that weird skinny troll look about it.
Or perhaps it's like that of a gazelle.
No, it's not gazelle-like.
I've been told that.
And the toenails need a trim too.
Well, tell that to my neighbor.
Yourself.
Tell that to my neighbor when I was a teenager. He
old
seemed
man
to be
toenails.
pretty fond of my feet. I mean, if my feet are so ugly, I mean,
Why does he keep inviting me over?
I have a full Velcro wallet to tell you different. I mean, he seemed to like pictures of them. Leave them in the mailbox, and he'll leave an envelope in the mailbox addressed to Little Freddie Toucher. All right, very good. We will read our emails in just a moment.
You're listening to
bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right, emails. John Wallach is champing at the bit. He has an email ready to go here on Toucher and Hardy. What is it, John?
John at 985thesportshub.com. This is from Joe. He emails us a lot, but some questions here.
Yeah.
What show is Happy Days a spinoff of?
Love American Style.
That is correct. That is correct. What two shows in the 80s gave a young Adam Sandler his break in show business?
Cosby Show was one.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to him about that when we interviewed him,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually laughed. He thought it was funny. He played on Theo's basketball team a couple episodes.
Oh. And Hill Street Blues.
He was on
St. Elsewhere.
I mean, those are possibilities.
Falcon Crest.
I don't have the answer.
90210.
I don't think so. Wasn't he on remote control?
You don't have the answers?
Oh, yeah, he was on remote control.
Yeah.
That counts.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
Joe does not provide the answer. I
No,
knew
he's
Love
just
American
asking.
Style.
All right, go ahead.
And what was the other one? Hardy, who is the best looking female golfer.
Well, I will say they all have beautiful looking swings.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're up. You're up. I don't know what Dan's doing.
Okay. Let's see. Well done.
The woman who married Gary Carter or Ray Knight.
Jimmy Carter? Rosalind?
No, the one who married Ray Knight from the Mets. She was the big golfer. Yeah, Nancy Lopez.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go.
You like Nancy Lopez?
Beautiful swing.
Annika Sorenstam?
I don't love her swing. She's a great golfer, but I never liked her swing. Hard to replicate.
Michelle Wee? What are these? I'm running.
I
out
like
here.
Michelle Wee's putting style. She would, when she got closer, about 6 feet in, she would kind of put her elbows out. It keeps the mallet or the blade of the putter very much on line.
You guys were talking about my feet.
Method.
You gotta sometimes step in when he gets going. You know, you guys were talking about how my bare feet
are gross.
That you didn't like that I was walking around bare feet. I said
Correct.
I walk the dog sometimes in bare feet. You found it disgusting.
It's hideous.
Did you guys know that maybe you would not like some cultures? Here we go. Helen says, who's never emailed before, not sure if this is still true,
Helen.
but it's
She sounds like a Helen. Go ahead.
not sure if this is still true, but it's a tradition in certain Hawaiian private schools that children cannot wear their shoes as they enter. They have to leave them at the door. I have great nephews who I visited years ago and went to their schools, and everyone had to take their shoes off and be barefoot.
Yeah, good for Hawaii. This is Boston. We wear shoes. Next.
Hardy, I bet you're one of those jabronis that wears socks in bed.
Incorrect.
You sound like...
Next.
You sound like Frank.
I wear shoes. I wear shoes when I go to work. I wear shoes that, like, we have, like, corporate people here today.
No.
I would be absolutely, like, horrified if I were to speak to one of them wearing flip-flops or slides and have my bare, ugly toes hanging out. Here's what I think of your job that you gave me. I'm just going to show up to, like I'm ready to go on a slip and slide. That's how little this is how unseriously I take myself and this position. Look at my toes, you child.
You sound like Frank Costanza refusing to take his shoes off for that Korean girl who works at the nail place.
Oh, which ended up being his daughter, or his long lost lover.
It was his long lost lover.
Okay,
yeah, his long lost lover.
Yeah,
because he could speak Korean, remember, and Elaine wanted him to go in and find out what they were saying.
And they were talking about her.
Hey, Freddie, Ben says, I'm a fellow barefoot enthusiast. There's a bunch of different minimalist barefoot brands that make shoes that look like regular sneakers or even dress shoes, which is supposed to be better for your foot, by the way. They have a wide toe box and a heel to give you the barefoot feel. I wear Flux footwear. Check out their site.
I bet they look stupid.
Hookworms in your feet. Dave says you can get hookworms via bare feet. It's the reason why people in the South were considered slow back in the day.
That's another To Kill a Mockingbird reference. Well, I mean, it's not just a reference, but they do reference that same thing, and because I think one of the Cunningham kids ended up with hookworm from walking barefoot through the pig pen. Oh, those are pretty good-looking shoes. From the Flux Footwear?
Dave says, show is amazing except for Wallach's constant gaslighting. As a man whose IRA is comprised about a 15% of CrowdStrike. I'm turning to the show for financial
email?
advice.
Yeah, I saw this. This is good.
Is this the buying opportunity or is it sell? My instinct is to close my eyes. BTFD, but the effing dip. I'm leaving open the possibility that I might be a complete and total moron, and maybe I should just sell everything and put it into 4.5% CDs. Thank you for the advice. My advice is not to look at your retirement accounts.
You know, you say Wallach and you say ground striker. It leads me to ask John Wallach, how big a problem are bird strikes in the community, John?
I don't have an answer to that.
What?
I would assume.
How many lives does it take?
Yeah. I would assume it's significant. The birds are up there, man. They're circling.
28 miles per hour. Come on, baby.
Get them out of here. They're just going to wake you up. Birds. Get them out.
That's my son at night. when the birds are in front of his window. Clarence says, what repressed psychological horror has befallen Hardy that makes him so foot resistant? Is he one of Kendra's foot customers? He obviously has a latent foot fetish.
Nope. No, if I had a foot fetish, wouldn't I be asking everyone to expose their feet?
Or maybe you would...
You're saying it's kind of like a Mike Pence situation.
Yeah. Like people who really hate gay people, and you're like, why do you care? And you're like, oh.
Hardy, what do you do? I'm praying the feet away. I'm praying the bare feet away.
I've always been a little suspicious of people that really... And I think about this from time to time. I'm like... Because every time a political cycle comes up, and I'll be like, why do you care so much about gays? And then I'll go, oh. Because really, there's no reason to hate gay people. Like, they're not doing anything to you. Well, it's in the Bible. Yeah, but that's not your business. It's not your business to make sure everyone's abiding by
Yeah, are you a Bible enforcer?
And I'm not positive that the Bible's is uniform on the whole subject.
Whoa.
If you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they give you some verses that will tell you, and that's where I get all my biblical information. John says, hi, Fred, I love the show. Hardy's anger towards your feet made me think immediately that he obviously hates his feet. Sounds like he needs to show some love to himself and get a nice pedicure. Maybe go with Kendra twice. They know how much you like her. Okay. If this isn't a bit, I don't know what it is. Slippery T for president.
Nice.
Me and Eric B on the same ticket.
Thomas says...
But Eric B is president.
Thomas says, I'm out on barefoot on sidewalks. I'm in on flip-flops from the first warm spring day to the latest date possible. Side note, I have a cousin who's 10 that wears socks in the beach water. I call him Mr. Costanza.
Well, he might have like a sensory thing. I'll tell you this, is that once you've lived in a climate that encourages flip-flops and it's part of the culture, you will never turn away from them. Like, if you grew up in New York City, you're probably not wearing flip-flops, right? But if you go to college in Florida, I'm just telling you from my own experience, chances are you're going to become let your toes fly. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And then when you get home, you go to your mom's closet, you put on her shoes.
Sure.
You know? Maybe her stockings and, you stand in front of the full-length mirror and see how you look.
Enjoy yourself.
Look,
you tuck it all back.
Yeah, you want to walk your dog around barefoot on sidewalks. Good luck with all the broken glass and the bees and everything else you might be stepping on and a hobo urine and everything else you might be. Just coming to work. I've been across the board on this. You're coming into work, shoes. I think shoes are a good thing to wear to work.
What if I made a rule? I think that leisure wear, golf wear is unacceptable. Save it for the golf course.
So I should only wear T-shirts?
No, you should wear, if you're going to go to work, you should wear business attire. You shouldn't wear things talking about a leisure activity.
So that goes for you too.
I'm the one with no shoes on. I've gone all in.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, let's just make the line a little higher. Yeah, like I'm scum. That's been proven. Now I'm saying to you, what if I said, hey, why is this guy, what is this, a golf course? Why is this guy wearing a bunch of golf crap This is a place of business.
You're saying you're open-minded and Hardy is not, is what you're saying.
Well, I think that's been proven.
That station you worked for in Lansing, Fred, I think
WFMK?
I think instituted a shirt and tie policy.
I think they might have
for on-air personalities.
I think they did, but you should have seen. I did. Hardy and I talked in front of this group of kids that won scholarships through Beasley.
Kids who hope to be mentored by us.
Yeah, like my Hofstra kid back there. I've done so much for him already. But here's the deal. His name doesn't matter. But here's the deal. We were talking and wait, what was the point that I was just going to make? You were talking. I was going to tell them something. You said what? What was the thing you said?
Shirt and tie, Lansing.
Oh, so the guy in Lansing, the DJs, because I was in the traffic department, which is who puts the ads, organizes where the ads go on.
Right.
I was interning there. I mean, it was ridiculous. These are losers, the midday loser, and he might have been how old I am now, making no money. Just at a light rock station in Lansing. Their whole sales staff were girls that had just graduated from Michigan State. Right. He was banging all of them. And he was not an attractive man. Radio was a different a different place back then.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, they were cute, 23, 24-year-old women.
Yeah, they were Michigan State girls.
And as soon as the morning show was over, income would come the midday guy, and I think he wore a tie and jacket, not a good one, like J.C. Penney. And these girls would come in and out, tee, and then the women in the traffic department would go away until that one finds out about the other one, and the other one finds out about the other one. And I'm like, that guy? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, he must be making a lot of money. I actually thought that, and then it turned out no. He's a midday jock in Lansing.
Oh, that guy was the
guy as low as it
the
can
guy
go.
was the midday jock at New Country 102 WILS, today's Hot Country Favorites back to back. He was a big prick to me too.
Yeah, those guys wouldn't let me in the studio.
Oh yeah, they're all threatened. They because I thought, how could that guy think I was there to take his job when very easily I could have taken his job. That's probably what they were wishing for. Yeah, so we can stop paying this guy $16,000 a year. You'll do it for $8,000.
In my career, I've never not let someone in the studio, just like a person. If someone said, "Can this person come in the studio?" I've always said yes. I don't know why you would say no, but they did. They uniformly did.
I'm sorry that happened.
It's very uncommon. Thank you. You know what? That's going on my list. I got to come to grips with it. But my part in that one.
Yeah, you got a couple of things to get to before that, pal.
No, I've already done it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. what you're thinking? What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
That's what it's time for, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
You Bob Newhart fan, Fred?
Yeah, we are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. I like Bob Newhart. Yeah, I the first show was on before I was alive, and that really wasn't in syndication too much. But the show Newhart, and he has a really good bit about being hungover. That like is so like early 1960s.
Right.
It's about being hungover like around your kids. And it's like when everyone just got loaded every night.
Yes.
And so it's kind of quaint to hear how life was back then.
60 plus years ago, he had a bit about Abner Doubleday calling up a game company like Milton Bradley and pitching the game baseball. It's like, hey, I got this baseball game. You ever heard this one, Wallach?
Yes, I have.
Yes, it's
very
fantastic.
fun.
Yeah.
And you got a pitcher and a catcher. And they throw this ball back and forth. and that's all there is to it? All right. A guy from the other side stands between them with a bat. And he just watches them. Oh, I see. He swings at it. He may or he may not swing at it. Depending on what. If it looked like it were a ball. What's a ball, Mr. Doubleday? You've got this plate. Uh-huh. And as long as it's above the knees, but below the shoulders. Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm listening. Yeah.
But when he goes on to describe it, okay, so you get 3 strikes and you get 3 balls. Oh, 4 balls. And why is that, Mr. Doubleday? Oh, no one's ever asked you before. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Doubleday. This is the most confusing game. No one's ever going to play this. Thank you anyway for the call.
And then George Carlin did the football baseball thing, and then
and Andy Griffith did a thing, and he said what it was football, and he had a whole bit about it too. There was
doing what? Was he a stand-up?
Andy Griffith was a stand-up. He went on. In fact, I think he used to go on like Jack Parr and other shows as like this country bumpkin. I'm gonna tell me some jokes here, and it was all this very calculated.
Set the whole South back. They were finally getting over the Civil War, and then he just
pushed it forward.
And then Don Knotts did this bit where he was a landlord, and there was a guy living with 2 women, but it was okay because he was, like a French horn, gayer than a French horn, and then
sometimes like a bag of balloons. I know what you're saying.
And then sometimes you would see the gay guy, and he'd be with women, and he'd be like, "What?" And then he'd pretend to be with Larry or something. By the way, the Stack is brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. If you're looking for great deals on new Fords, go to the Best first. Best Ford in Nashua. Head to thebestfordnh.com.
Odie Henderson did a list of movies from the. Odie Henderson is a film critic for the Boston Globe.
Oh.
Not his 10 best movies of all time.
Tell me when Garfield does one.
His 10 most watched movies of all time. This is an interesting list because I have my 10 favorites, but there's, a Venn diagram of your favorite movies and your most watched movies. There's a little cross section.
Yeah, most watch has nothing to do with how good the movie was. It has how often it is on TV. So Step Brothers and Anchorman are obviously in everyone's top 10 most watched because Step Brothers might be on TV.
But
every
Anchorman
other day.
is also in your actual top 10.
Yeah, Anchorman's my second favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
Behind Goodfellas.
And I would put Jaws up there as both my favorite movie and one that is certainly in the top 10 that I've seen the most. But he lists a few in here that make no sense to me. To Sir with
American
Love.
History X, Birth of a Nation.
American History X. Well, that one's just fun. If you just want to, a lighthearted romp.
I mean, how many times have you been sitting around with the kids and been like, nothing's on? All right, I guess it's Ed Norton and the boys again.
Right. But only the black and white vignettes.
The curb stomp.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
But he does list a few here that I can definitely get on board with. My Cousin Vinny. God, I've seen that movie a lot. And I don't even count it as one of my favorites.
I've used it
for Marissa Tomei back in the day, as I've used her Seinfeld.
Odie also lists a movie that features
You
one
know
of
the man?
No.
Okay.
A movie. I just thought it was interesting.
No, because you called him Odie.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson.
Yeah, that's more like it.
A movie that features one of our own salespeople.
Oh, that would be
Meatballs.
I haven't seen Meatballs once. I've never seen Meatballs.
I've seen it.
But it is problematic in 2024.
Yeah, but when was Meatballs on TV?
Oh,
It used to be on cable. I don't ever remember being on
cable
TV.
a lot.
I don't recall that.
Fred,
at
another
all.
one of your favorite movies of all time. He listed number 3.
Clash of the Titans?
No, it's the Harry Hamlin one. No, you dressed up like one of
the
these guys
Blues
for
Brothers.
Halloween. The Blues Brothers.
I've seen that movie more than any other movie ever.
And talk about another.
I bought that on beta back when those were like $100.
And another favorite from the 70s, early 80s that probably would not get made today.
Animal House?
A Mel Brooks movie.
Blazing Saddles.
There you go.
You might almost be able to make Blazing Saddles because the black guy's the voice of reason. Like the sheriff is the smart one. Like, aren't the white guys all the dumb ones, and the sheriff is the smart one?
Yeah.
And he kind of succeeds despite the dumbness of the white guys. You might be able to make that. It might not resonate with millennials, but the generation after millennials, it might resonate with. I have more faith in this coming. I think the millennials are like the dead generation. I have more faith in the Gen Z.
Well, something to look forward to.
Just because so many of them are on Adderall. I mean, they'll be up a lot, at least to solve problems.
Right. Hey, let's meet back here on Monday. Want to?
Yeah.
Put it on the books.
Good idea.
Hey, I'm going to pen it in. Monday morning show. See you then.
You know what? Monday's going to be a happy day.
Okay.
All right, everyone.
Monday, happy days.
Yeah. Everyone enjoy your days. That'll do it for us. Goodbye. Bye.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Need a new appliance? Doyon's Appliance.